I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. Person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. Hello. I'm David Sponheim, and today is Technology Thursday. I hope we're all having a good time. I know I'm ready for action. Today is the best day of the rest of your life, right? Or the first day of the rest of your life. Yeah, I'm just having a little problem with the camera. There we go. Picking up a little bit of residual stuff on the back. I just finished a cooking show, so thank you. It's always a little hectic the day we do our cooking show because I have to use a laptop in the other room, and I maintain a very interesting pace doing this cooking show. It's kind of amazing how I'm able to pull it off every single time, and only because I have this prosumer technology am I able to do it. So without the stuff that we have now, this never would have been possible 15 years ago. In fact, 20 years ago, I think I bought a video toaster, and I started making TV commercials and wedding videos 20 years ago. Yeah. It's kind of amazing. Technology has really zoomed forward. Back when I started, I didn't have the digital video technology you guys have today, and that's available for free on the internet. So if you want to become your own amazing edited video guy or woman, you can certainly do that for free. And the only thing stopping you is a government that censors what you say. A lot of people put more and more work into YouTube and get knocked off YouTube, and we don't have any accountability whatsoever for our prosumer equipment to get the message out, because they're constantly knocking people off YouTube. And I'm concerned that it's happening to people who are trying to fight for really important things, and they're getting knocked off. So with the advent of all this technology, the elitists that run the world never planned on average people getting access like we have right now. So now they're using their power to stop us and to censor people who are speaking out. Now, the two parties will not talk about this. Democrats and Republicans won't discuss the censorship that's happening. but we are seeing it daily. And if you're hooked up like I am to the internet, you see it almost hourly when you go surfing the internet. Last night we showed how pedophiles have a easy access on YouTube to see children, and nobody stops those people, and they even get AdSense dollars to put children in compromising situations. But anybody who talks about that gets their YouTube video taken off of YouTube. Now that's insane. That's utterly insane. We can't possibly do something like that to people who are trying to protest what's happening and give free access and even AdSense dollars to pedophiles. I mean, this is crazy. I had to shut the video off. It was so disturbing. We were watching a 20-minute video. I could only last about 5 minutes on it because apparently YouTube has algorithms that send people down wormholes so that they see their weirdest things that they want to look at. It's the strangest thing. So without any accountability by YouTube or Google, we're never going to get any response. If you dispute that you were taken off YouTube, they won't respond to you like they didn't respond to me when I was kicked off of a live show. I'm lucky to even upload videos to our YouTube channel. They kicked us off a live show when I was gang stalked. And I said I have proof of being gang stalked, and they didn't even bother responding. So it's just unbelievable. If you're looking for attention on the internet, you can do whatever you want. But if you try to do it in real life, Juicy Smollett is finding out what that's all about. Yeah, Juicy Smollett's been arrested. Live updates. He returns. His basic attempt to get noticed, according to the experts, they say he purposely set this up, has backfired on him. So you can't really get noticed the way he tried to do it. And you certainly can't do it on the internet without reaching out to as many people as we do all the time and try to constantly mix the message up. But MSNBC guest unchecked.
All right, we want to get back to this
after floating theory that Trump-supported cops may have framed Juicy.
Community leaders in Chicago think about their city being used as part of a hoax, and this kind of fits into the victimhood mentality we've been talking about tonight. And where do the Chicago police go from here? To help us answer those questions, we're joined from Chicago by Tio Hardman. He's the CEO of Violence Interrupters and former LAPD detective and Fox News contributor Mark Furman. Tio, I want to start with you. Now, you're saying that community leaders, most of them knew from the start that this was fake. So why were so many national politicians, top leaders in the Democrat Party, and celebrities fooled?
Okay, this qualifies as advertising for Juicy Smollett. So
right now, as we're still moving our way south, and the road's getting wider, I'm going to get a little bit of a wider shot. You can see California.
We're now going to a live chase in Los Angeles. Right now, a stolen car pursuit, and this is kind of like the OJ thing that happened many years ago. I would gladly talk about Juicy all night long, but it's a diversion. Why would we give him any more time? The guy tried to fake getting attention. Why would we give him more attention? So let's be real here. You and I, if we were to try to get attention on the internet, we'd be censored. If we did what Juicy did, we'd be arrested. Why would we give him attention? This guy is anonymously driving a stolen car away from police. This is more newsworthy.
Still on Bouquet Canyon, though, approaching Seco Canyon.
Maybe that's why people buy Ford Mustangs. The tires are pretty good because he's still been going quite a while after having two flat tires from that spike strip that occurred, I guess, several minutes ago.
Several minutes ago, for sure. He's been riding for a couple of miles on those flat tires. I think we're moving Sky now.
He's got flat tires. Those rims are going to be cutting into the he's going to be riding on stainless or in rims very shortly. We just had a person click on a YouTube link. This live pursuit was added to this particular Wally Gator intro from 1962. Wally Gator is the swinging navigator in the swamp. All right, let's take a look at the live chase as we see it coming forth.
As we just made the turn on.
He's about ready to drop his car. Look at, he's coming to almost a. He can't ride on these. There's no.
Here that they told the California Highway Patrol, back off. And,
back off. He's going to stop on his own. Yeah. It's a nice car, but unfortunately, he's going to be serving about 10 years in jail.
Not from the air, though. We still have that night sun on him, and you know it's still a car with flat tires that's not safe. And you got a guy or a woman driving where the adrenaline is pumping so high that they're not going to make good decisions either.
Looks like it's slowing down again.
Definitely.
Stu, wonder, can you explain why you said they want you to be on the driver's side?
That's it. That's actually more of a news type of thing. When we're flying, they always want us to be on the driver's side so we can see the driver.
Do you think he should get like 10 years? How many years do you think he should get for stealing this car? How long do you think we should take care of this guy? Now, the cost to take care of him will be extensive.
Call from
Rosito. Yes, hola, Rosito. Okay. Go ahead, Rosito. Hello? We got your voice, buddy. Anytime you leave a voice, we have we have an auditory signature on your voice. We will be tracing your voice on the internet and on cell phone signals for the next 50 years. So you may not want to use your cell phone. Thank you. We can identify your location. We have the capability. Who are we? I don't really know. But I can tell you America has the capability. The NSA has the capability of doing that. Okay, we're coming to a big, huge climax here.
They have their light on it, but on the ground, they basically backed off. Perhaps, I'm just saying perhaps, the Sheriff's Department may pick it up again, but right now, it's just following from the with the helicopter.
Is that McBean right there that he's going to try to bust that light on?
That is McBean. That's exactly where we are, and it does seem.
Now, he's facing at least 10 years. And I would say his chances right now, because the police aren't near him, he could easily jump out of that car and strong arm another vehicle. And he'd be looking at another 5 years. Look at how far back they are. Say he's armed, he could easily go into one of those vehicles without them swooping in, with all these people around in danger of being shot. And he could easily strong arm that person. Yeah, he doesn't even need that car anymore. He can get another one. Why are police backing off of this guy? Why aren't they right on his tail? I don't know. He could easily strong arm another vehicle at this point. It would be an extra 10 years on his jail sentence, but oh well. You think he cares? You just rubbed pepper in your eye? Oh my gosh. Is it Jussie Smollett? Are you kidding me? Are you making up a story here that this is Jussie Smollett? I thought they arrested him. Well, he'll get a couple months. He'll be released shortly because you're so overcrowded in your jails in LA. He'll get about 2 months. Yeah. He's still riding on his rims, man. This is crazy. It is like watching a soccer game, isn't it? Well, welcome to America and America's Third Party, everybody. We're just catching what's going on in Santa Clarita, California with a stolen car, flattened tires, and spike strips, which the police were smart enough to do. Now, this takes up a lot of effort. They have the ability to tag these cars with RFID chips now. They've got shotguns that fire an RFID chip tracking device. If they wanted to, they could fire one on his bumper and it splats right on his bumper and it can be tracked by air. So he could just drive home and we just arrest him there. But these types of chases can put a lot of people in danger, and I don't know if anybody else has been hurt today other than his tires, but yeah, I tend to believe that high-speed car chases are kind of a thing of the past. Well, they could unleash RFID chips on this guy and easily track his vehicle. But we really need to have constant contact with this guy because anything can happen. Look at how far back they are. Now, if this guy was really aggressive, he could turn around on that entourage of vehicles and fire on these people, buying him more time to carjack another vehicle. I mean, this is not the way to handle it, in my opinion. We can add music to this, yeah, like really intense music. It's currently happening, yeah. It's happening right now in real time. It's not O.J. Simpson, though. You can count on that. Well, we really don't know. It could be O.J. You never know. Since we really don't know who it is, technically it could be O.J. Could also be Jason. All right, we can't play much more of that. They'll monetize that song. Only about 8 seconds is all I can play of anything. Okay, he's still riding on all of his rims now, going about 20 miles an hour. What's he thinking? I mean, what's going through his head? Oh, I'm going to go to jail. I don't know why I'm doing this. the more he drives, the more he's going to go to jail. So why would he be driving anywhere? I don't have an answer to that. Hi, Anita. You can't sleep? Okay. Well, hopefully the droll of my monotone voice will put you to sleep. Anita's trying to go to sleep, everybody. I can't think for the police, no. I just don't understand why they've given him so much wiggle room. I know car chases, people love car chases. Yeah. Well, it's costing the taxpayer a lot of money, and these helicopters are working double time to, put lights on this guy. I just don't know where he's going. I don't know why the CHP ground units have backed off the pursuit. I don't get it. Is he armed? Has he already fired a weapon on them? Because if he has, then I can understand. But do we have any police officers here who can explain the protocol of letting this guy just drive along and carjack somebody else? I think cops ought to think more like criminals sometimes. He is. He's a politician. Is this Juicy Smollett? Is he making a big run for it? So you think the guy's on cocaine, that makes him super confident he can just outrun him with no tires. You got to wonder why he didn't carjack one of those cars with rubber tires. Have you seen those? The cops can't shoot him out. I mean, a lot of drug dealers are buying these cars that have no actual inflatability. They're rubber. I know. So I'm not giving you any ideas, so don't go out and buy them tomorrow at your local tire center. Yeah, I want the tires that don't inflate. I just want rubber tires. Yeah. Roy Cephas, hello. So since nothing is really going on other than the fact that Donald Trump is virtually he stacked the Attorney General's office with William Barr, who already sent a 20-page letter supporting a Russian, Michael Flynn, which is weird that William Barr would do that. And that was never even factored in his Senate hearing regarding his nomination. But now he's in charge of this, and Trump won't even reveal whether he's actually going to allow, William Barr is going to allow the actual charges that Mueller will come up with. Based on what I've seen of Mueller, he's not going after the right person in the case of the WikiLeaks and the connection to the Russians. He's making a big deal about this Roger Stone guy, and he's not pursuing Seth Rich and a possible leak through the DNC itself. If I were him, I'd be looking into the DNC and their activities. But Mueller seems to be in the back pocket of the DNC, and he doesn't seem to care because he's owned by the Zionist elitists. He doesn't seem to put together a real case against Donald Trump. It's been 18 months, and he hasn't even put a subpoena out to see those tax returns. That would have been the first thing I would have done as special prosecutor. He's a total Hillary shill, but it's worse than that. He's a Zionist shill. Because remember, Hillary and Obama and Donald Trump all take money from AIPAC. I used to think AIPAC was a political action committee when it's actually a public affairs committee. America-Israeli Public Affairs Committee. It's not even registered to send people money as a political action committee. So that's a suspicious thing right there. Why AIPAC's been funding all these big politicians at the presidency. And I would never take money from AIPAC. I promise you that. But that's the real issue here. That's why Mueller seems to be doing whatever the Zionists tell him to do. Yes, we have really good lighting from the chopper. Thank you, you guys. The chopper 1. Sky 2 has the coverage.
At any given moment, well, here they come. So they actually are paying close attention and in contact.
Yeah.
There's an old expression that nothing goes fast.
These,
Oh, go ahead, Sue. I'm sorry.
oh no, I was just going to say, many times we've seen these vehicles pull over, and like you said, all of a sudden there's officers just coming out of the woodwork. They are watching the office.
Does anybody know what kind of car this is? Is this a Beamer? It almost looks like it's got a convertible top, but it's not. It looks like a hard top, black and silver. Is it a Mustang? Oh, so it's like a new Mustang? Okay, cool. We don't think Juicy's in the right now. We're trying to minimize the free press for Juicy Smollett, Wild Bob. Yeah, I'm not going to cover the story very much because he's just looking for free press. He's going to have to serve some jail time for that. It's a Mustang. Wow. I guess it's a high demand stolen car. So apparently I can assume this guy is a second time criminal. You know, ironically, people are going to be called out of their houses to do the trial on this guy, even though we've got video proof that he stole the car. He'll probably plead not guilty by reason of insanity. Right now, he's concocting a plan to, well, if I drive on my rubber, they'll think I'm nuts, so I can always say I'm crazy. That kind of thing. He is in, AP is reporting that Juicy is in the stolen car. Wow. Are you sure? Or are you just psycho behavior and make up stories all the time? A pit maneuver is what is performed on a major event where you go into the pit and you get recharged. Pit stop, they call it. Well, I'm not really that big into drag racing, but I'm guessing that's what it is. So this is exciting. Let me do a better voice for you. 40 fire-breathing funny cars burning up on the highways and byways. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he thwarted the pit maneuver, yeah. He's a good driver, and, you know, gosh darn it, I think it's time we share the truth about Juicy. Now, I think that they arrested Juicy. I just read Juicy is arrested. Now, I'm thinking he's been arrested, so this can't be Juicy. Yeah, this is some other guy trying to make, quick fame of himself. Juicy is facing felony charges.
Advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career.
Chicago police expressed frustration in announcing Smollett's arrest.
Embraced by the city of Chicago. Turn around and slap everyone in this city in the face by making these false claims.
Yeah. Juicy is denigrating the charges of hate crime by making up the whole story, and it makes a real hate crime. He said one attacker put a rope around his neck and poured a chemical substance on him. 2 weeks later, amid questions about the credibility of his story, Smollett doubled down on the assault allegations in an appearance on ABC's Good Morning America.
Like this up or add something to it or whatever it may be. I can't even, I'm an advocate.
No, I think you're an addict of some sort, an attention hog, they call it. Well, that's Juicy Smollett. So this is not Juicy Smollett. This is just an average live stream event going on. It happens all the time in Los Angeles, California, the city. My name's Dave. I'm not a cop. I was on duty with my highway patrol friends when they decided to pull this Mustang over, and they resisted arrest, ma'am. I know, live car chase, people love it. Well, I'm not going to shamelessly plug myself on the live car chase, so if you want to read my logo, it's simply white on white. Okay, there you go. Day by day, oh sweet Lord, these things I say. Change the subject. Yeah, it's getting boring, folks. We're losing. While this guy's gas runs out, we'll keep you abreast of what's happening, and any other body part too. But NBC's unchecked for floating the theory that Trump supported cops and framed Juicy Smollett. Now, I think this is an entire diversion of some sort, because there's got to be some news about Trump that we're not really taking. CNN's Don Lemon says it's not his fault. Juicy Smollett lost in the court of public opinion. Don, could you just park your brain somewhere and, not talk for a while? Because apparently Don Lemon, his anti-white racism is getting to me. I'll tell you. I don't like people who hate white people. I don't like people that hate black people either, for that matter. I don't like people that hate. Mean people suck. And North Carolina is going to hold a new 9th congressional district election due to the incredible, terrible election results and cheating that went on. A
Bombshell
fraud
development in North Carolina tonight. There will be a new election. State officials ordering that election in a congressional race amid sweeping allegations of tampered ballots. The Republican who appeared to win by less than 1% was brought to tears after what his own son said. And then today, that candidate suddenly calling for a new election himself. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
After days of dramatic testimony about his campaign's alleged election fraud, tonight a stunning announcement from Republican candidate Mark Harris.
Through the testimony I've listened to over the past 3 days, I believe a new election should be called.
At the center of the controversy, Harris's political strategist McCrae Dallas, accused of tampering with more than 500 absentee ballots to help Harris win. The election decided by fewer than 1,000 votes. Democrat Dan McCready conceded, but 1 month later, with questions growing, he took it back.
I didn't serve overseas in the Marine Corps just to come back home and watch politicians and career criminals attack our democracy.
Our Steve Osinsami caught up with Dallas, who refused to testify without immunity.
What do you say to people who say that you rigged this election?
No comment.
At the Board of Election hearing, Harris insisted he saw no red flags, but his own son testified that he warned his father that Dallas was, quote, shady.
I love my dad, and I love my mom. Okay? I certainly have no vendetta against them, no family scores to settle, okay? I think that they made mistakes in this process.
His testimony bringing his father to tears. Today, Harris admitted his son was right, but said at the time he didn't take him seriously.
I'm his dad, and I know he's a little judgmental and has a little taste of arrogance.
And then this surprising twist.
I experienced 2 strokes from which I'm still recovering, and I struggled this morning with both recall and confusion.
Harris then calling for North Carolina voters to get a do-over. And late tonight, the Board of Elections voted unanimously to call for that new election, but we don't know yet exactly when that will be. And tonight, despite our repeated requests, it's unclear whether
Kyle.
Mark Harris will be on that ballot. David?
All right, Mary Bruce live from the Hill tonight. Mary, thank you.
Through the testimony I've listened to over the past 3 days, I believe a new election should be called. It's become clear to me that the public's confidence in the 9th District seat general election has been undermined to an extent that a new election is warranted. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my statement. He seemed to have the relationships that I was gathering from the conversation that happened in that meeting that day.
Why are we listening to this guy? He had 2 strokes today. I mean, come on. He can't even be taken on his word. He just had 2 strokes, you know. We're going back to the car chase, everybody. Now, for some reason, they pulled back, the police officers have pulled back from this live event. We're not really sure why they're giving this guy all the room he wants. I say this is bad policing. I think this is the worst thing you can do. Okay, the guy's desperate. He knows he's going to be serving 10 years in jail, minimum. If he's armed, he's going to be serving even longer. What's preventing him from carjacking somebody and getting a new car and going 100 miles an hour? I mean, are these people all like unable to think? There's a cop. Okay, he's coming to a stop. We're moving in. They're overtaking him. No, that's not even a cop. That's somebody driving a car. Okay, sorry. Forget that. That's not a cop. What's going on? It doesn't make sense what they're doing. You just gave 3 ideas to stop him. Cops pay attention. Okay, Push and Tow says I just got an armored truck to go ahead of him and slam on the brakes. There you go. These police maneuvers have no imagination. I agree. Instead of a spike strip, why not use an 8-inch steel bar to wedge into the chassis? You know, Push and Tow, if you applied to become a cop right now, you would not be qualified. You're too intelligent. You have to have a below 107 IQ, and clearly yours is hovering around 120 right now, maybe even higher. If you'd like, I could do a digital imprint of your IQ right now and determine its exact number. Go ahead and write 1 word and we'll assess your IQ. Oh, LOL, thanks, Dave. That's good. That gives you 120 IQ right there. We'll base our next assessment on your response. Go eat a 3-day-old taco. They told me to say that over iBlog. Okay, apparently this is no longer breaking news. I don't understand. Are they doing a plug, shameless plug? I don't understand. Why would the cops just let this guy go? But we'll get back to that as soon as it happens. We'll be waiting with bated breath to see if this thing goes live again. In the meantime, Roger Waters told Richard Branson, back off over the Venezuela situation in a bizarre dispute over benefit concert. This happened just yesterday. I'm offering $1,005 per month. Yeah, I've already upped his total. I will beat anybody by $5. Yeah, we'll be giving $1,005 a month based on our plan, assuming Andrew Yang is a legitimate two-party candidate. If he isn't a two-party candidate, he's just some guy, take it down to 505, because that's where Kamala Harris is at. She's at 500, stealing my idea. Yeah, remain calm while they tase you to death. Do not resist. We don't know what happened to the car chase. I'm still checking on it. They're supposedly live, but they're not. They're dead. Okay, there's been a delay, but Michael Cohen will testify in Capitol Hill next week. Now, as you know, we talked about this yesterday. Michael Cohen has received 2 death threats, one from Donald Trump and one from Giuliani, according to him. Why the FBI is not pursuing this, one only questions the FBI at this point. If a man is going to testify for the Congress, he needs absolute security. There's no way they should give this guy a single chance for somebody to get near him and hurt him. Yeah, he's had 2 death threats, one from the president. Yeah, you want to check it out? Read it. I'm not making that up, Johnny. Remember Justice for Katie when she said that somebody from Trump's team threatened her life if she talked about the time she was raped by Trump at the age of 13? Remember that? Yeah, that's a death threat. So you're saying he's just lying, that there's nobody going to hurt him at all? Well, we'll find out. If somebody kills him, we'll know that somebody, on Trump's team did that. Because he's already said that Trump has threatened his life along with Giuliani. It's in the article. If you want to read it, check it out. Remain calm. The drones are on their way. They have nothing going to end like the Warren report. What are you talking about, the Warren report? There's nothing going on. This is crazy. We got no chase. They let the guy go. I mean, I've never seen a case where a guy just drives off with broken tires. You got more of the live NBC chase. Let's go to NBC. We're leaving our affiliate CBS to going to affiliate NBC. And we're talking to Tom Brokaw. Tom, what's going on? I'm having a run here. Tom Brokaw. Click here to enable Adobe Flasher. Let's do it. Tom's not doing any news. He's retired. Here we go, live now. They're finally closing in on this guy. Boy, I won't really rely on any mainstream work from CBS now that they screwed that up. Huh. Now this is exactly how you should be handling a chase like this. Lights on, constantly closing. Kind of like a sale item at the... If you're a salesman, you got to constantly be closing. What? Okay, we are coming to a stop, everybody. It's over. And now we're losing our feed. Hello? It's not Juicy. No, Juicy's already been arrested for lying and deceiving and setting up an attack. He personally orchestrated his own hate crime. Allegedly. No, I don't believe that. ABC is now going to our affiliate at ABC. We're getting mixed reviews from the feed over here. No, it's not Smollett. We're just talking.
Pulling over now. He's actually using his signal to pull over, and he's now onto the shoulder, and this pursuit may be coming to an end here, an unexpected end, maybe running out of gas, deciding to give himself up. Now we've got 3 units behind him, 2 of them right there in our frame, and we've got 2 hands out the driver's side window. So the driver of the stolen Mustang deciding to give it up here in Santa Clarita. As we wrap up this pursuit, you can see they have the airship overhead and are now going to execute a felony stop in the middle of the roadway here. As he's pulled over to the side there, you can see they've got the 3 units right behind him, and those are the only 3 that are in the immediate vicinity here. So they will likely go ahead with these 3
units right here, and he is indeed showing signs of stepping out of the vehicle. We'll go ahead and widen out just a smidge to make sure everything is...
This feed is ahead of the other one. And it doesn't have an audio feed over it, but it is ahead of the other one, this NBC feed. They got him spread eagle. He's going down. He's getting down on all fours. Let me enlarge the screen for you. Could you please move your helicopter camera? Thank you. Yeah, we lost it. Let's go back to the opposite feed. There we go. He's out. He's on the ground. He's been apprehended and off to jail, where he will spend 10 years minimum for armed car robbery. Yeah. And that'll be 10 years times $100 a day, or is it $150 a day? So that's it'll cost him $547,000 to warehouse him. Not even worth the cost of the car. Yeah, this is ridiculous. This man will cost 10 years in jail. Will cost $547,500. Yeah, that's how much this is going to cost. Way more value than the car itself. Thanks, taxpayers. You just helped California help support their for-profit prison system. So he'll be released in about 2 weeks probably, because they can't afford to keep him 10 years. I watched the OJ chase back in the old days.
But I can feed it back on the way home. It's code 4.
What item 12? What item 12? Okay, so we're done with a couple stories. I think Jussie Smollett is no longer an issue. We're done there, and we're done with a car chase. Boy, we're finally caught back up. But Roger Stone has got a gag order on him. Unable to speak to the press because check this out. He actually put an Instagram photo of the judge that he's got with a target behind her.
A federal judge banning Roger Stone from speaking publicly about his case, warning him if he violates the order, it will land him in jail. Stone took the stand to tell Judge Amy Berman Jackson he was heartfully sorry for posting what could be considered threatening image of her to his Instagram on Monday. He claimed the image, which showed the judge with crosshairs over her shoulder, was a screw-up and a stupid lapse of judgment, and insisted the crosshairs were misinterpreted. But Judge Jackson said the apology rang hollow, adding, "There's nothing ambiguous about crosshairs." The judge had already put a lenient gag order on Stone. Today, she banned him from talking publicly about the case in any venue, warning him there will not be a third chance. She also banned others from speaking on his behalf. The judge had ordered Stone to make the trek from Florida and appear in court after his post, which included a caption that called special counsel Robert Mueller a deep state hitman and claimed Stone's case was a show trial. Stone also implied that Jackson was biased because she was an Obama appointee. He rounded out his post with #FixesIn. He altered the text about Mueller and added a few more hashtags. That post was also taken down. The same day, Stone filed a formal apology to the judge. "I had no intention of disrespecting the court and humbly apologize to the court for the transgression." The judge and the prosecutor questioned the sincerity of Stone's apology, given his other public comments.
When the judge issued a gag order that did not limit my First Amendment rights, the left went completely insane. That's why they have cooked up this false narrative. I threatened no one. I intended to threaten no one. I never disrespected the judge or the court.
Stone's legal troubles came to a head last month when he was arrested at his Florida home in a pre-dawn raid.
29 armed FBI agents, 17 vehicles, all an unnecessary expenditure paid for by the taxpayers for the theater of it, to create a public image of me as guilty before I get an opportunity to prove that I'm innocent.
He pleaded not guilty to 7 charges of obstruction, making false statements, and witness tampering.
Okay, so making false statements, obstruction, and witness tampering are the charges. Nothing to do with did you acquire the WikiLeaks from Russia. You see where this is going? These are all minor charges that are being scattered by Mueller toward the end of his ridiculous fake attempt at stopping Trump. Clearly, Mueller is working for the same people that financed Hillary Clinton's campaign, the Zionists. And clearly, Mueller is working for the same people that financed Trump's campaign, the Zionists. So it turns out that a good American is in the crosshairs here who just likes to, hide information from people. This guy's been a kind of a loose cannon for years for the Republicans, and he wanted to put himself in the crosshairs of the investigation by talking all the time. If that's what he meant by putting her face next to crosshairs, that's an unfortunate misuse of visual, a visual statement that he was making. So clearly that's a violation if indeed that's what he was doing, putting her in the crosshairs. But I think he's in the crosshairs. But it doesn't matter at this point. He can't talk. His First Amendment rights have been shut down. Maybe it's for the best, because his mouth has gotten him into more problems than anything. Now, the reality check is that Mueller doesn't have a stitch of information about the WikiLeaks connection that I know of. Of course, I'm not privy to his secret information, but it all looks to me like Seth Rich is the real person who accessed the WikiLeaks that led to the WikiLeaks release on Hillary Clinton's emails, which led to Donald Trump claiming that that's why Donald Trump Jr. was meeting with a Russian attorney whose prime goal was to end sanctions. Now, remember, Donald Trump Jr. said in front of many witnesses and subcommittee that he was meeting her so that they'd handle some adoption issues. And then he went home to the White House, talked to his dad, and Donald, according to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, weighed in on it. She said that. You can't weigh in on somebody's testimony, and that's when Donald Jr. changed his testimony. So I believe that Donald Trump, in fact, did witness tampering right there with his son. Now, if they're going to charge Roger Stone with witness tampering, that's a big stretch considering Donald Trump himself witness tampered with his son's testimony. Now, if that doesn't come out of Mueller's report, then clearly there's a cover-up here, and clearly we need this third party to get to the bottom of this. I'm not going to, in fact, when I pursue an investigation of this, I'm going to add Mueller to the list of suspected people involved in the cover-up, unless he performs like he should as special prosecutor and show what I just told you as evidence, because that's out in the open. That's in the public press. Donald Trump has done enough for all of us to pin at least 4 crimes on him right now. Thank you. So we're talking about witness tampering, obstruction of justice, firing Comey, now stacking the Attorney General's office with a guy who actually wrote a letter in support of Michael Flynn, a known Russian agent. That's right. Our new Attorney General wrote a 20-page letter to Rod Rosenstein asking him to not investigate Michael Flynn before Michael Flynn was investigated. That is complicity with Russia. William Barr needs to be looked at as possibly colluding with Russia as well. Or the Zionists who have put Donald Trump in power. We've got a serious breach of oversight and discovery going on by Robert Mueller if he does not perform what he needs to do. I don't think Mueller is an honest man simply because he signed off on the 9/11 Commission report. How can that be an honest man? Not one single explosion was factored into the death of 2,970 people. The only explosion they acknowledged was the Pentagon hit, and they claimed it was a 767, and clearly it wasn't. So Robert Mueller is clearly working for the deep state and has covered up the perpetrators of 9/11. Now, I need to remind all of you that we still don't know who killed all those people in 9/11. We can't say for sure now that 17 or 18 Saudi Arabians were guilty, and not one of them has been arrested. So you can't tell me this isn't a cover-up at the highest level in our country right now. This man is in the crosshairs of a ridiculous pursuit by Mueller to pin blame on him when clearly he just likes the press. Mueller needs to pursue the Seth Rich case, and if he doesn't, that's suspicious in and of itself. I don't know of anybody who would lose their son, like Seth Rich's family, and tell the cops, we don't want to find out who killed our son. That, to me, reveals that somebody's pressuring his parents. And they probably are afraid to admit that. But that, to me, is a definite reason to investigate Seth Rich's death, and Mueller hasn't done a damn thing. There's enough stuff on the internet right now to suspect that Seth Rich was killed at the hospital later that day because of what he knew about the WikiLeaks. Well, I'm sorry I raised your anxiety levels. It's just I'm drinking cold pressed coffee, so maybe it just upped my. Maybe I just got a little extra. Oh, that's right. I used the Keurig, so I got a little extra coffee in me. Sorry. I'll try to mellow out here. Yes, absolutely. We'll cover the peace conference in Hanoi between Trump and Kim Jong-un. They're not going to be talking about getting rid of any weapons or nuclear weapons of any sort. They're going to talk about how each other likes to kill people. Yeah. Donald Trump killed 31 people 8 days into his presidency. He turned against his own military advisors and said, "Oh, I want to bomb those terrorists. I want to get rid of them." And they said, "We don't know for sure that these are terrorists." And Donald Trump just did it anyway. 31 dead people on Trump's shoulders, all because he just said they wanted to use weapons. He just blew off. You don't remember 8 days into the presidency, Trump did that? He killed an 8-year-old girl. So yeah, they could have a nice conversation about how they both like to kill people. But they won't be getting rid of any nuclear weapons. In fact, the entire meeting with Kim Jong-un is brokered by Lavrov, the foreign minister for Russia. In fact, Putin is behind the meetings with Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, in case you were wondering. And if you can't realize this is happening, then just sit back and watch. It'll continue to unwind. All I'm saying is that we are in now a war for more missiles with Putin, while Donald Trump gets secret calls from Putin at the same time. What does that mean? Well, we all should be afraid at this point. But the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. So don't be afraid of fear. Yeah, well, I'm telling you, we're upping our nuclear mid-range and intermediate nuclear force weapons now that Trump and Putin refuse to even sign. They both don't want to sign. So this is clearly a weapons development plan. And whoever's funding Vladimir Putin from the oligarch Zionist perspective has given him over $200 billion. They're the same people that are funding Donald Trump, or maybe Henry Kissinger's involved. Either way, it's the Zionists who are getting what they want, which is greater military production in Russia and in the U.S. Their end game is to try out weapons against each other and own both sides. It's like you go out and buy a game of Monopoly. Well, gosh, you're really rich now. You can own both sides of the Monopoly game. That's how it is for these Zionists. They bought a game of Risk, and they own all the different countries on the Risk board. So they think they can just test weapons like willy-nilly, like it's no big deal. That's the world we're living in right now, in case you didn't know. I know, it's crazy. Well, they're talking about an agenda of building weapons up. They're not trying to denuclearize, they're trying to add nuclear weapons, both of them. They recently Trump started talking about how he's going to make mini nukes. And of course, a couple weeks ago, Putin was bragging about his 27 times the speed of sound missile. Hi, Sarah. So Sarah's going to give me a little break tonight and hang out for you guys to kind of share in her day. And I'm going to go make a little bit of dinner and be back. Dinner's almost completely. I made it a sausage vegetable kind of a mash.
Okay, kind of like fingers and mash. But
very much.
Much
more vegetables. Yeah, I put only 3 or 4 potatoes, little ones, and at the bottom, and at the top I put cauliflower, and I found some organic, non-GMO spinach, which was perfect. It actually it makes it a really interesting mix with vegetables in it now. Okay. All right. Now try not to read the chat at Vaughn, because some people are really mouthy, and we have to mute them if they continue to do that. She's worked a whole day. Give her some time, okay?
Yeah, it's totally on time.
I mean,
was
really.
On time 5 hours ago.
She's ready to lay down and go to
on
sleep.
time when I woke up.
She doesn't even need to do this theoretically.
Can't. I
have work to do.
I always have work to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think there's ever
a downtime for you.
Well, there is some downtime for me, but
yeah.
I took downtime when I did the snow days, thankfully.
Good. Good.
And when I got sick, I'm glad I rested. But yeah. So I'm glad I think I take the right amount of downtime, but right now I'm go. And for a while I'm go. I do work enough for 2 people, but not because of that. I just work enough for 2 people. David's going to see your chat in the other room and then purge it, because otherwise David will just ban you. Sorry. Hello, Anita. You get very paranoid. Why is it not healthy? What makes it not healthy? Psycho behavior. I am a kind person. A neck massage would be great. I have a little bit of whiplash though, so sometimes I don't always feel that great with the neck massage, but actually like right at the upper shoulders, that area, that is very nice. So this is a safe place. We will do a little bit more trivia. I don't know. David has this thing for MASH. Oh boy, trivia. Oh, yeah, no. I'm gonna move from that one. I thought I already did a lot of the R's. I'm skipping all the way to S. What is any object in orbit about some body capable of exerting a gravitational force? When you want to learn, everything's fine. When you're forced to learn and you don't want to learn, everything is horrible. Right? That's basically what you were trying to convey, I hope. Artificial ones of these in orbit around the Earth have many uses, including relaying communication signals. Ah, nice. Your cat was meowing in Russian. I said, when you want to learn and you're learning, everything is great. When you don't want to, it's not. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry, Dr. Meow. Yes, you're right. And so is maxed out credits. Is, yes, and push and toe. Hello, Real All Ranger. It is satellites. Satellite in the sky. I don't know that song. Anyway. Satellites make accurate surveys and inventories of the Earth's surface and weather patterns, and they carry out scientific experiments. What is any number of devices capable of producing images of individual atoms and molecules on surfaces of materials? True, 530, you're a very good point. Closed-minded folks are hard to teach new things to. Again, any of a number of devices capable. What is a device capable of producing images of individual atoms and molecules on surfaces of materials? One says spectrum, one says spectrometer. It says scanning probe microscope. Scanning probe microscope. No, Bangalitis, probably not. What is any material that conducts electricity but very poorly? Silicon is the most common and familiar ones of these. Devices made from these, such as the transistor, are the basis of the modern microelectric industry. Yes, maxed out credit got it. Me too, Mad Dog, but after David banned him and I didn't immediately unban him, then he's like, I don't need this show, which is good. You're right. Anyway, it is a semiconductor. Semiconductor. Oh, sorry, we're on the letter S. Yes, I skipped R. Well, yeah, I skipped R tonight. We started with S tonight. What is a technique for solving problems in which a computer begins at the start and works through to the end in a linear fashion? Most of the times they don't do that anymore. What about, well, at least he has some friends, like, well, me, but I know I didn't do a good job. It wasn't a very good friend. Yes. Well, no. You guys say sequential. I guess that would be right, but 864 is right. Serial processing. Serial processing. Shadow is his friend. What is a computer or software that performs administration or coordination functions within a network? Correct, Gust 104. And yes, Dr. Meow has it. It is okay, I'll repeat the question. A computer or software that performs administration or coordination functions within a network. Yes, a server is correct. Good job. What is an abbreviation for a language used to format text by using tags? It's particularly useful for projects involving cross-references. I don't know if they actually use this language anymore. Maybe they do. Do they? It's called SGML, Standard Generalized Markup Language. I really more know like XML. Good job, maxed out credit. Yeah, I was gonna say SGML is pretty old. What is an electric circuit in which a path of very low resistance has been opened, usually accidentally? When the resistance drops, the electric current in the circuit becomes very high and can cause damage to the circuit and, in fact, start fires. Don't you like that, Dave? Digital audio video entity. Yes, exactly. 104. And Dr. Meow, Rex got it. Is short circuits. Job Johnson and Scissor Fight. Yes, short circuit. What is the chemical element from which some semiconductors are made. Yes, Rex and Maxed Out Credit and Dr. Meow. And Johnson. What's the valley called where all the most of the main industries, most of the main internet companies exist? Silicon, so it's Silicon Valley. Silicon is because silicon is the chemical element from which semiconductors are made. Silicon is also used in the manufacture of glass, concrete, brick, and pottery. Oh, and Silicon Valley was the next one. A region in the San Francisco Peninsula in California where the miniaturized electronics industry is centered is called Silicon Valley because most of the devices built there are made of semiconductors such as silicon. Silicon Valley is often used as a catchword to describe the development of the high-tech industry. If we can attract this corporation to our town, we could become another Silicon Valley. Oh, that's pretty funny, Dow Jones. Probably true. What is a military term used to refer to weapons that can guide themselves to their targets through the use of onboard computers? Good night, Maxed Out Credit. Probably silk. It wouldn't be one of... Silicon is like plastic. Yes, Dr. Meow and Behavior. Rex. Smart weapons. That's a good guess, though. 964 said self-guided. What is a term used to denote mail sent via the traditional mail service? Usually to contrast that process with email. Yeah. Close, Rex. Yes, Maxed Out Credit. They usually call it snail mail. Yes, 964. What are the programs and instructions that run a computer, as opposed to the actual physical machinery and devices that compose the computer? Yes, this time I was going for software. Correct, Mad Dog. But that's my goal, to put you to sleep, 185. Hopefully, because it's late at night and you're on the computer and you're getting all these electron bombardments. So my goal is to just drop it down a notch so you can actually go to sleep. I assume that you're in the United States of America. Yes, absolutely. My boring voice. I agree. What are devices usually made of semiconductors that convert sunlight directly into electric current? These often power artificial satellites and are often used in remote locations of the Earth. Correct, Maxed Out Credits. Bangalitis, Rex. And Johnson. Yes, solar cells. What is the sudden increase in air resistance that occurs when an aircraft approaches the speed of sound? Yes, true. Mad Dog. Yes. Push and tow. It is a sonic boom, a sonic barrier, or sound barrier. What was a vehicle built by NASA that was capable of taking off from Earth, carrying a crew and cargo into space, and returning to Earth to be used again? It was primarily used to transport a crew to an orbiting space station and to deploy and retrieve satellites. Yes, exactly. Behavior. Oh, wait. And maxed out credit? Yes. Yes, Rex. And Johnson? Yes, a space shuttle. 964 agrees. Yes, it's a space shuttle. The Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after liftoff in 1986. All 7 crew members died in the accident. What was a structure that was assembled in space by an international partnership led by NASA? It was designed to be a permanent habitat at which scientific and technological work can be carried out. Yes. Max out credit, behavior, Rex, push and tow, yes. It's called the Space Station. Thanks, Real All Ranger, not the Falcon 9. None taken. Oh, this explains how the moon landing was possible even with the Van Allen belt. All right, this is boring. People are saying I'm boring, so I'm gonna take a break from the trivia and just hang out with you. Staggering discovery reveals the moon lies inside of Earth's atmosphere. Ooh, that is interesting. That's very interesting. The Earth's atmosphere is much bigger than previously thought, extending far beyond the moon. A team of scientists have revealed. This discovery was made thanks to data that has been sitting unexamined for over 20 years. The atmosphere is 50 times the diameter of Earth. Wow. This was made possible by decades-old data by scientists at Russia's Space Research Institute. The moon is part of our atmosphere, not outside of it. In fact, it's located right in the middle of our atmosphere, an average distance of 238,855 miles from Earth. The moon flies through Earth's atmosphere, explains study author, physicist Igor Belyukin of Russia's Space Research Institute. It was until now thought to be about 200,000 kilometers from Earth. That's the point at which solar radiation pressure would override Earth's gravity. Wow. They do teach science in school. There's actually a thing called, everybody has been talking about Common Core state standards, but they actually have standards for science called the Next Generation Science Standards, NGSS. You totally misinterpreted that, 513. Yes, I enjoy doing this. A passenger plane nearly broke the sound barrier thanks to a monster tailwind. Wow. All right. Don't worry. If you're bored with me, David will be here now.
I shaved a couple minutes off so I can get you out onto your work rest time. Thank you. All right. Sarah does trivia, which is good for people who want to stay active mentally. They say activating your brain is the best way to keep a clear mind as you get older. Using your brain power. That 103-year-old lady I showed you who drank beer, she's clear as a bell too. She drinks like a 10-ounce glass of beer a day. Yeah, Sarah needs to rest. It's time. Thank you, Sarah. You really are so kind to do that. Thank you.
Back in about
Well,
45 minutes or so.
take as long as you want. Really, an hour rest. Get some sleep or relax a little bit if you can. Yeah, I mean, she works all day long. I mean, I've got all the time in the world to spend with you in the evenings because this is free, you know. I don't get paid for this. This is my avocation, so we like doing things together, don't we? Yeah, we stay up late at night talking about issues, bringing up tough stuff. Like last night we showed you how people on YouTube are able to access children's shows. Like soft, it was just terrible, and kids are being exploited. Yet anybody who exposes this is getting kicked off YouTube. It's like the pedophiles are in charge of YouTube. I don't know. Not many women would tolerate this lifestyle, you know. But in a way, she has extra time on her own, away from me, so that's good. I don't occupy our evenings watching sports going, yeah, I can't believe the Packers aren't doing better this week. You know, just running my mouth off about, you know, sports. That can upset a lot of women. I'm sure some of you guys talk a lot about sports and your wife is going, yeah. No, that's my chair. It makes a little noise. It's an executive leather chair. It has some issues, but I got it for $25, so I'm not worried. Well, yeah. Yeah, there's no error other than ban with you, man. Your entire life you've been rejected by your employers because of your attitude. And I'm here to teach you a lesson. You're not allowed to come back here. Yeah. And you can't change your name, so you got some real issues there, Chet. We know who you are now. We know you're Chet Kelly of T. Rucker chat room fame. Yep. Do. So we have a lot of problems with people who are trolls and they're attacking our show, and we have to do these things, part of our routine. Yeah. All right, that should buy him some time. Let's clear it so he can't see it. He's too busy right now, being pissed off. I banned him over 150 times now. He's a sad sack, yeah. That's very strong projection from someone who hated all his bosses. We're going to remove you from the show too. Yeah, you're getting a little too personal. Just because I've had bad relations with bad bosses doesn't mean you have to use it against me. We're not sure where he came up with his fake name, Chet Kelly. Chad Everett. Yeah, that was Chad Everett from Marcus Welby, MD. Marcus Welby, MD was a great show on TV. Yeah, the famous actor Robert Young was the character who played this father figure. Of course, he was the guy from Fathers Knows Best, so you began to trust doctors back then. I don't trust doctors now. I don't trust any doctors that I see. I would rather go to a computer and ask the computer questions about my health than ask. That's right. He keeps them all active. Mark does. He purposely did that. When T. Rucker doxed me multiple times and claimed he made $125,000 doing it, Mark kept him up, and all the people that come into his show are allowed into our room. Other people who are trying to get into our room can't get in here. If you're wondering why your IP address is not allowed in, this guy at Vaughn bans virtually 350 million VPN IPs. That's serious. But you can catch us at this network, iVlog. Let's take it to you there. iVlog.tv/user/America's Third Party right here. This will get you in, but it requires Flash, and in some countries they don't allow Flash. And we're also available at our flagship show, Cooking Up Politics, right now at Periscope. And we've got a Periscope show rolling up, Cooking Up Politics, there you go. And if you want to get into Periscope, you just have to sign up to your Twitter account and get in there. That's a Twitter link. Periscope is a Twitter affiliate. Yeah. Well, I had to shut out that video off last night because it revealed how YouTube was allowing these pedophiles to make money and actually monetize children and pictures of children. It was freaking me out. And to this point where we see everybody who talks about Pizzagate getting banned and these people getting supported, it really begs the question, do we have pedophiles running our world, our country? You know? Josiah. Yes, go ahead, Josiah. If you're real, let's hear what you got to say, man. Yeah, we can always tell within the first 2 to 3 nanoseconds if they're legitimate. Yeah, I mean, they might as well call it PedoTube, based on the fact that they're allowing all these pedos to get, their stuff across. The technology we're using is being abused by pedophiles, and they're lurking in the wings, trying to attack your kids in some program that they're learning how to draw on or something. So we need a lot more FBI agents assigned to this task that we don't have enough right now, actually. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who could actually be put to task to stop these people online. Look at Dateline NBC and Chris Hansen. They were finding like 200 pedophiles a day in every area by this group called To Catch a Predator. Perverted Justice was the name of this group. They pretended to be young kids online, and they hooked these weird pedos into these conversations where they would meet up, and yeah. So many people, of course, we've got that radio archive. We got that radio archive of a young man. He was like 18 years old, who'd been raised by 2 lesbian women his whole life. No, excuse me. His mother was lesbian. His father was homosexual, gay. And he'd been raised by them. And he purposely went online and met guys. And he got one guy on our radio show, and it's the weirdest, sickest thing I've ever seen. The guy bragged about how he trains young boys to be gay. I was shocked when I heard it. I immediately got off the call, but it's on recorded history in my radio program. I can't erase it. It's like, wow, that's just so weird. Yeah, and this young 18-year-old kid who raised by a gay mother and a gay father was so confused about the whole issue that, we're talking about kids being vulnerable online and growing up in this environment, which is very bad for all of us, especially you people who are raising children. That's got to be a really big task in this day and age. Man, I don't envy you because I don't want kids. It's just too difficult what I do. I wouldn't want to get a kid involved in my life. Yeah, we got conspiracy stuff here. Yeah, Beto was at the fence the other day talking to protesters. Yeah, he had the protesters kept out, protest fencing while surrounded by fencing, And he said he wants to get rid of the fence. Can you imagine that? We need to get that fence built. That's my idea, and I'm glad that Trump stole it. There's no reason why we would take fencing down. This guy is so out of it. He just doesn't understand. We have a growing population of 31% increase south of the border. And most of our population increase is because of illegal aliens. So this guy is really out to lunch. And, let's not forget he married into a billionaireess. Yeah, his wife is worth $1 billion. Her family's worth billions. Marrying into money. Opportunist. Yeah, he's bad. And he just doesn't understand the serious need for some border security. And I think Trump has essentially made it very clear he supports border security. I agree with him because it's my idea. I think it's great. Dave, that video exposing PedoTube now has 5,600 thumbs down. Wow. Are you serious? Wow. I wonder why. Yeah. I wonder why it's got so many. It's almost unusual. It's like, did YouTube just give it like arbitrarily 5,600 thumbs down? Is that what you think? That's what it seems like. He's Irish and took that name to trick Hispanic voters. There you go. He married a rich millionaireess. Her father's worth $1 billion. Yeah, I read up on him. Plus, there's that story of Beto and his hit and run accident. Yeah, I've yet to read the specifics about it, but that alone can't do very much. So pedos are just going in and thumbing it down. You don't believe that YouTube can alter their stat like that? I think YouTube could have a broad stroke and change the up thumbs and down thumbs. If they're willing to censor me, and I know they've been censoring me for 9 years, my subscription count has remained the same, virtually, and it's impossible. If they are doing that, they could easily fix the numbers. Makes sense that they would too, if they're protecting pedos at YouTube. So this party is also really all about raising your consciousness to the reality that the people that are running our country are probably super rich. Yeah, they're not even Americans. Look at this picture of the Rothschild family. And lo and behold, in the picture is, you know who, James Alefantis. We've got a photograph of him here in the lineup. See it? You can see the bone structure of his face. It's identical. He's just wearing some glasses. Why is this man at the center of a child trafficking accusation? Why is this man, going out of his way to talk to people and newscasters that he's never done anything wrong and blah, blah, blah? He has no college education, which is, I don't really care because I didn't finish college either. But he's clearly a person of interest in regarding to all these weird things that are happening underground. Turns out that building and the building he owns, Pegasus Museum, is actually a interesting location. It happens to have 3 levels of tunnels under it. Now that's pretty suspicious. Now I'm just as concerned about stopping pedophilia as now Pope Francis is claiming he is. So he's changed his tune finally, and I'm glad he has. He's having a big, huge summit on pedophilia and stopping it within the church, which I'm glad it's finally happening. But I would love to, make sure that things like that aren't happening in America too. And if the papal ministry doesn't step up, it's going to be, a slam down attack on our freedom. Now that was the Byzantine, that wasn't the Gregorian, sorry. Sorry, Bengalitis. I missed the Gregorian, missed it by that much. Well, all I'm saying is this guy has multiple identities apparently, and Alephantus, it actually means lover of children in France, in French. So I'm not sure if this man is going to evade any scrutiny by our government. Same with John Podesta. Same with the WikiLeaks. And if Mueller doesn't find the real perpetrator of who dispensed the WikiLeaks, then his entire investigation is incomplete. So I believe that going after Roger Stone is more of subterfuge, and he's trying to pretend like he's doing something, but I think Mueller is about ready to wrap it up, and he wants to pretend like nothing happened. My guess, I have an 80% likelihood that Mueller is going to say Donald Trump was not involved colluding with Russia. I'd say 80% at this point, based on the fact that he hasn't investigated any of the serious underpinnings here and the people that may be playing behind the scenes. If foreign governments and people like the Rothschild family, who are part of a cabal of Zionists, are behind something in our government, controlling politicians with human trafficking, allegedly, and child molestation and pedophilia and all that, they can control politics that way, then we have something to worry about. This family is way too powerful financially to be underestimated. So I think we should bring Jacob Rothschild into the show, and if you are here, Jacob Rothschild, feel free to call. We'll get you in, just to get to the bottom of this, because if your family's not involved in the underpinnings of our Zionist takeover of our country, call us and tell us how you feel, So lines are open for Jacob Rothschild only. Everybody else cannot call in. Jacob, you can give me a ring. I'll be waiting. Operators standing by for Jacob Rothschild. Yes. It's only right. The time has come for us to talk. It's appropriate. Absolutely. Operators standing by, Jacob. We'd like to know exactly what you're doing and if this indeed is James Oliphant, if he is one of your nephews. It's a despicable affair, isn't it? The entire family of rich royalty has been shielding these facts for years. None of us wanted to admit it. We've got a call. Go ahead.
Call from
Jason. Jason. Yeah. Jason, we're waiting for Rothschild to call. Jason, man, what is wrong with people that can't take no for answers? It's the millennial generation on plus it's got to be some sort of a generation of lying, unhappy people like Jason.
call from
Jason. Oh no, we got a call from Jason again. Well, we don't take your calls, Jason.
We don't take your calls, Jason.
Okay, hey, I've got solutions for the world. Food and water. Anybody who's starving. Wouldn't that be great? If we could only get food and water to people who are in need. I mean, it's not that difficult to imagine having a storage of water bottles and food. And we could even make these things biodegradable, so they'd have a shelf life of about 5 years and a breakdown life of about 15. We could put cornstarch in our plastic bags. There's so many things we could do. But we're not doing anything with the Democrats, Republicans. We're just sitting on our hands going, well, we better tell them what they want to hear to get reelected and get more money from these backers who are foreign countries. Yeah, unfortunately, our government now, under current law, will actually accept foreign donations, like AIPAC money, for people to get reelected. Mitch McConnell takes foreign money from Russia to get reelected. That's probably why, yeah, if you're wondering why this whole thing went down, wondering why Trump is so set on Kavanaugh and Mitch McConnell was so set on Kavanaugh, well, in 2011, he ruled that foreign governments could fund American super PACs. How about them apples? Hang on, I'm getting a suntan on the back of my head, and it's getting a little bit hot. I sounded like Thurston Howell of the Gilligans. Okay, you're not a millennial. It doesn't matter what you are. You're human, okay? You're overstressed. We're suffering from future shock. The technology that we have is through the roof. There's so many things and widgets that we have in our society that you could barely even keep track of what's happening. They have seen Ruth Ginsburg at an event, they say. Yeah, Ruth Ginsburg is out and about. She's. I heard she was exercising too. Yep. I don't think the Democrats will be required to show her actual living in any specific location for about, I'd say, 6 or 7 months. They're trying to figure out how Donald Trump could keep this presidency together in lieu of all the obvious Russian collusion. Well, let's be clear. But yeah, we've got technology up the yin-yang, man. Talk about technology. Jeez. Let's take a look at some of these technologies that are looking at us right in our face. Up, up, and away in my beautiful balloon. Wow. Yeah. Okay, we'll start with that. Yeah, let's get some things on the screen for your visual excitation. Now, I'm going to slow it down here and just show you all the different trinkets that are available. It's just amazing. Yeah, forget that one. That was just some guy trying to create a volt stator for me. Yeah, but look at that. Who doesn't want those? Warming USB slippers or the coolest bicycle on earth. Task. Okay, new Trump video doesn't show. Trump claims border wall is under construction right now using fence repair footage from 5 months ago. Wow, so Trump is pulling... That's a cool thing for put out fires. We need multiple ones of those. Oh yeah, and did you get your flu shot? Don't forget those buns. Anyway, I thought I'd show you some technology while I was coming up with a news story here. Well, that's cool. For people that are in tight spaces to put their bikes, that's pretty cool invention. Ooh, the backpack bike. Isn't that see what I mean? It stimulates your consciousness when you see technology. That's why we're controlled by the technological world we live in. That's the problem. Yeah, we're kind of, how do you not want technology? It's just such a fun thing to have, you know? I started collecting technology back in the early 80s. I mean, I was one of the first to have a stereo headphone before the Walkman. Yeah, it was like my thing. And then gradually got into computers when it started hitting the market, and spent $10,000 on 2 computers, if you can imagine that. We got hosed during that early time. Yeah, we're not going to do what you're saying. You're out of here. Water bombers are built in Quebec. Oh, really? Okay, let's take a look at this story. So Trump claims the border wall has been finished, or is under construction right now, using fence repair footage from 5 months ago. Wow. So apparently nobody's doing anything, and he's just taking that footage and saying it's all happening. Oh, I could lie incessantly and everyone believes me. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can do that. 5 months ago, America was at work. Now the only thing working is Donald Trump's ability to lie and his mouth. He lies like a rug, man. This guy, they counted over 5,000 lies in 2 years. That's his daily thing. He says things that are just like, they're good for him. And nobody seems to be able to question him. It's been going on since Celebrity Apprentice. Dun, 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 dun. Donald Trump says, we've just built this powerful wall in New Mexico, completed on January 30th. 47 days ahead of schedule, many miles more now under construction. Finish the wall. And this was just Trump. This was just posted, yeah. So he is completely talking about a 5-month-old thing. It's not a brand new, big, beautiful wall, Ryan Hill says. It's not a wall, it's a 20-mile fence in New Mexico. Yeah, this was reportedly finished in November, not January. Thank you, Ryan Hill. Border wall replacement along Mexico's border. And Mexico did not pay for this fence. Yeah.
John, watch this. Wait. Hang on. But John, watch this. Wait. Watch this. Are you guys ready for it? Who's going to pay for the wall?
Mexico is going to pay for it all. Do you hear the sound of stupidity? Let's listen to it really closely. This is the chorus of stupidity of people that believe Donald Trump's lies. Here we go.
And by the way,
the crashing sound of stupidity. Wow, that is sucky. And this was the former president of Mexico who said Mexico will not pay for the effing wall. So he lied about Mexico paying for it. He lied about saying he would not give up until he got his 5.7 billion. He lied about now framing it like a win for himself. So in other words, Donald Trump can lie all he wants every day, and the American people just sit there and go, yeah, okay. And now he wants 5G, of course. Thank you, Cal Worthington. Trump is supporting 5G without any checks on the human factor. It's unbelievable. He's clearly a puppet for his parents and his family's connections to the Scottish Rite Masons and their Zionist control over our country. It's like everything he does for them. And don't forget his uncle, John Trump, who developed and further developed Tesla's technology so it could be weaponized. Yeah. We got nothing to worry about, right? We just have a country that could be zapped at any time courtesy of them. Nice. That's what we need. Less green screen. Yeah, anytime they want, they could electrify the entire world. Just hit us with a big zapper. Well, Trump won't talk about chemtrails, and you know I talk about that quite a bit in our show. These are lines of chemicals being dumped on our skies. Photographs like this are very prevalent. They're happening all over the globe. And what they're doing is essentially weather modification. I know you're afraid. So if they're able to do weather modification and alter our weather, which can create hurricanes like the one in Florida and Texas, or God knows what, even an earthquake. Some people believe they're capable of committing genocide with earthquakes. That Haitian earthquake has the earmarkings of that, where 339,000 people died. But if they're able to do that and then create a neural network around this beautiful earth of ours, you can only imagine what they're capable of. The 5G network. Watch out, America. It's coming.
The United States will be the first country in the world to open up high-band spectrum for 5G networks and applications. And that's damn important. because it means that U.S. companies
make all that money. Yeah. Hey, Cohen's got tax returns. Wonder if he gave any money to Donald Trump, from paybacks from other people. IRS analysts charged in the leak of Michael Cohen's bank records.
Michael Cohen was once President Donald Trump's right-hand man, but now they're bitter enemies.
Ms. Cohen, how did it go today?
Cohen was Trump's lawyer for years, and he once even bragged that he would take a bullet for Trump.
I'm a loyal employee.
But things changed when Cohen got caught up in the Russia investigation.
So I just heard that they broke into the office of one of my personal attorneys, good man, and it's a disgraceful situation.
FBI agents got a search warrant to raid his home and offices, and they seized thousands of documents.
How have you been doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
The pressure was eventually too much for Cohen.
Mr. Cohen,
He pleaded guilty to 8 crimes, including breaking campaign finance laws at Trump's direction and facilitating hush money payments to 2 women who accused Trump of affairs. Trump has denied these affairs.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
Then you probably remember this audio. It's a secret recording of Cohen talking with then-candidate Trump.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be, listen,
What financing?
we'll have to pay you, so. No, I got it.
Cohen later pleaded guilty to lying to Congress about efforts to land a Trump real estate deal in Russia during the campaign. That project never happened, but it put the spotlight back on Trump's Russia ties, and Trump saw the admission as nothing less than a complete betrayal. Trump says Cohen acted on his own. To potentially lessen his sentence, Cohen started helping special counsel Robert Mueller. A federal judge sentenced Cohen to serve 3 years in prison.
All right, we've got that under our belt now. We know that, which is great. Cohen's going to face prison time, but he's also going to speak in front of the House.
Let me get your thoughts on.
Yeah, he's going to speak in front of the House Oversight Committee, and this is something that will maybe bring new evidence to. I'm wondering about Michael Cohen's money that he gave Donald Trump. If there was pay for play, and we do know he got close to $17 million from various organizations, even the president of Ukraine and Russian, both were paying Michael Cohen. Did any of that money go to Donald Trump? So if I were the investigator and being serious about this, I would scrutinize Michael Cohen's records to see if any cash was withdrawn and in large quantities, and have them tell you, where was that cash? Did you give Donald Trump money that you got from like Saudi Arabians to have access to the presidency? Because that's illegal to sell your time. And many people believe that Donald Trump has not only been selling time, access, pay for play, like Clinton's did, but also the possibility he took bribes for some of the cabinet positions. I believe that it's unusual to have 6 billionaires in cabinet positions when, remember, a person who has $1,000 million or more, which is $1 billion, doesn't really need to work. So when he said he was getting rid of the swamp, he literally hired 6 billionaires. I mean, there may have been a buy-in, like Betsy DeVos had a $9.5 million payout to him, which is a gross violation of FEC law. Yet Mueller hasn't even mentioned that. So all these variables have not been mentioned, and they're defining the talking points for all of us to digest, and we're being processed propaganda, basically. The Zionist elitists don't want to prosecute Donald Trump because they put the Russians in play. They don't want the Russians not to have control over him. That's one of their tools that they use to control this guy and make him a puppet of their regime. Their goal is global world domination, and our country stands against this and is perhaps the only lever in the world that can stop them at this point. So your vote and your support for a third party is perhaps the most important thing you'll ever do if you really want to change this. But if you don't, go ahead and vote Democrat and Republican. I guarantee the new world order is coming, and they're not going to say no, take no for an answer unless they are stopped right here in America. It's a pretty somber note, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, you've got a song request, Anita. Offset, Red Room. Okay, I'll check it out later. It's got nearly 10 million hits. That'll be good for tonight. Thank you. We play our music after our recorded session, so... Where is the proof of Donald Trump meeting with Russians? Well, that would be the TASS news agency, the Russian secret news agency that met with Donald Trump the day after, or excuse me, the day of him firing James Comey. I want to know what was on that film that the TASS agency had when they videotaped Donald Trump. I've yet to see that information from Mueller. Remember TASS when they met with Mueller the day of firing of James Comey? And then we do know that Kissinger met with Trump right after to talk about Russia. But those few days are critical in determining the obstruction charges that need to move forward. Now, if Mueller puts this whole thing together, great. He'll be vindicated in my eyes. But his lack of scrutiny and oversight and discovery in this case indicate to me that he's not doing his job, which means Mueller will be announced as a person of interest if I were to conduct an investigation as president. He would be on the list of people we'd investigate as well. All I'm saying is we need real investigations, not this side angle thing where he goes after the little guys and Trump discredits them all, saying, "Oh, they're all lying. It's all a lie. It's all big Russian hoax." That's not enough for me. I can't believe you people are sitting around accepting the fact that Donald Trump is literally saying everything's a hoax and everything's a lie except what he says, and we caught him in 5,000 lies. You can look on the internet. You'll find 5,000 lies Donald Trump has made in the past 2 years. So don't kid yourself. He's good at it, and it's not getting any worse for him. It's only looking like he's going to get away with it, unfortunately. Yeah, not enough oversight. Okay, let me play my famous, wonderful moment in time where I take a break, talk about being the right guy for the job in America.
My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good to be true, my world around, cause you're the peace I find. If you sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good to be true.
All right, thank you. And as we know, we have to, mix up the show with a little bit of music, so we can only play stuff that's royalty free. And I created that on a music program that you can readily download called Magix, Magix.com. And it is a terrific program. It does kind of hijack your computer with offers, but it's worth it. Considering how many people have no talent whatsoever, it can sound like they've got talent. It's amazing. And then you got people with talent talking about, hey, we got some technology issues to discuss here. Let me bring that up. RT just made an amazing discovery. Let's see if this is real or Russian hoax. Staggering discovery reveals moon lies inside of Earth's atmosphere. Whoa. It's much bigger than previously thought, extending far beyond the moon. A team of scientists revealed the amazing discovery is made thanks to data that has been sitting around unexamined for over 20 years. We now know that the atmosphere surrounding our planet stretches 391,000 miles away. and 50 times the diameter of Earth, thanks to the discovery and analysis of decades-old data by scientists at Russia's Space Research Institute. Okay, that's probably why the moon doesn't want to break off and fly into space. I mean, duh. You know? And then this story. Tesla is reaching the bottom of the barrel now, apparently. He's now ready to dive head-on into Bitcoin and cyber currency. Remember I talked about this a couple of years ago, about this would be an alternative for Tesla to finance his fledgling industry? Thanks for featuring me at iBlog. Yeah. Well, it turns out Tesla is going to head into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they say. In a rare comment from Elon Musk on cryptocurrency, the Tesla SpaceX founder said that Bitcoin is quite brilliant, he says. And he continued, paper money is going away and crypto is far better way to transfer value than pieces of paper, that's for sure. But it has its pros and cons. He goes on to say there seems like there's some merit to Ethereum as well. You know, considering his S3 just got a thumbs down by reviews as a car that you should buy, I don't know. This guy might want to get back to the drawing board and work on making a better car, because he just got a reverse response from his PR program. Yes, bye. Let's see what the S3 is saying right now. Okay, I don't think I have it. It was in the news today. Tesla shares fell for a second straight session on Wednesday. Okay. The Tesla's $35,000 Model 3 could now cost you $78,000. That's a little bit of interest on that. Tesla stock, too bad to buy, too good to short. Okay, I'm not sure where the story came from, but apparently he paid to get rid of it. Yeah, because the current story in the news today was claiming that the S3 had not had a banner year. No, I don't miss Misanthropy. No, he was so depressing. I want people who are positive about politics. You know, he doesn't believe anything is possible. He doesn't believe people could become aware. Yeah. That to me is a hopeless individual. I believe that communication is one of the ways we're awakening people up. I wouldn't do a show every night if I didn't believe that there is a possibility that many of you are waking up as we speak. Well, that's pretty much the way it is. I mean, if you treat people like there's no future, you don't have people around you. It's a tough lesson in life. And he's so negative, I'm amazed he has anybody around him. Yeah, and smug too, like he can get any woman he wants, that kind of thing. We get a lot of people coming in talking like that. Those are the ones that are the most alone. No need for a psych evaluation for me. I'm 100% solid. Yeah, I've got a terrific attitude, and I'll tell you, I don't think anybody's more grounded than I am. I couldn't do this show if I was mentally unstable. You people are sick, man. You're literally, you're psychotic, and you're probably going to get hurt really bad. I grew up in Los Angeles. I've been in fights. I've had my face bashed in many times, and I can honestly say that you don't know what real pain is. And if you were to attack me, I would respond with deadly force if I were trapped in a particular location. So, yeah, I get death threats every night. These people are so stupid, they think they can get away with it too. Joe, your throat needs to be checked out. I mean, ask your doctor. If you have a sore throat, you need to get checked out, man. Well, I don't believe in responding with deadly force unless you're trapped and in mortal fear for your life. And the government has laws like Stand Your Ground and Castle Law that gives me the authority to blow your head clean off if you were to do that. So I wouldn't want that to happen. It'd be a mess on my sheetrock. Yeah, I'd have to pop the sheetrock off and buy new, and then send it over to the blood lab for analysis. Purdue's Sackler embraced plan to conceal OxyContin's strengths for doctors. Sealed deposition shows. So these big pharma agencies are up to it again. The year after Purdue Pharmaceutical launched OxyContin, its head of sales and marketing sought input on the key decision from Dr. Richard Sackler, a member of the billionaire family that founded and controls the company. Michael Friedman told Sackler that he didn't want to correct the false impression among the doctors that OxyContin was weaker than morphine, because the myth was boosting prescriptions and sales. Yeah, so this is why the fentanyl patch thing got so bad. They started just giving people huge dosages of dangerous pharmaceuticals without even questioning their specific toxicity level. That's seriously messed up. Thanks for that link. And this link right here, let's take a look at that. My name is Rob from Kramer. No, we don't do that. Thanks anyway. No, we don't take on things like that. That's damn important.
Because of technological advances in computing and antennas. If the Commission approves my proposal next month, the United States will be the first country in the world to open up high-band spectrum for 5G networks and applications. And that's damn important, because it means that U.S. companies
continue to make money. No, I don't need glasses. No, I've got 20/20 vision. 20/20. Michael Jackson's estate is suing HBO over Leaving Neverland documentary. You know, you got to wonder if Michael Jackson really is dead, because he seems to be able to do a lot from the grave. I mean, you know, Paris Jackson isn't really concerned. You know, she's off in between treatment centers and doesn't really have a clue. I'm not sure who in the Jackson family is pushing this, so I have a feeling Michael Jackson's still alive. Absolutely. He could be wearing a mask like Dave, but ironically, we outed the guy and we showed you the technology of face makeup that could make Michael Jackson look like anybody. The day after we did that, Dave died. So whoever Michael Jackson is now, God only knows. Yeah, the Michael Jackson estate is hardly letting go of Neverland. The documentary about the late Leaving Neverland, about the late pop star's alleged sexual abuse, that is set to air next month on HBO. On Thursday, Optimum Productions and the two co-executors of the Jackson estate sued HBO and parent company Time Warner, claiming the documentary constitutes a breach of non-disparagement clause in an old contract. Yeah. Michael Jackson is innocent, period, begins the complaint filed at LA Superior Court in 2005. Michael Jackson was subjected to a trial where rules of evidence and law were applied before a neutral judge and jury, where both sides were heard, and he was exonerated by a sophisticated jury. I think Michael Jackson's pulling the plug here. I mean, he's the guy pushing the buttons. 10 years after his passing, there are still those out to profit from his enormous worldwide success and take advantage of his eccentricities. Michael is an easy target because he is not here to defend himself, and the law does not protect the deceased from defamation, no matter how extreme the lies are. Well, if Michael Jackson really is dead, that's true. But if he isn't, then there's a lot of answering to do. Yeah. If somebody out there knows if Michael Jackson faked his death, please tell us. Operator standing by. Right. If you had encountered Michael Jackson at Burger King and you want to share your story, feel free. Yep, and the deadline is approaching. Yep. Apparently, Michael Jackson, the HBO says Michael Jackson's documentary is still on despite desperate $100 million Leaving Neverland suit update. Wow. Well, apparently this is going to reveal some much more damning evidence of Michael Jackson serving Jesus juice to children and then taking advantage of them, allegedly. Notice how we're talking about this, but we're not talking about John Podesta allegations? Okay, we got a call from somebody who's actually seen Michael Jackson.
Tim.
Go ahead, Tim. What was your meeting with Michael Jackson like? Got your voice again, man. Every time you call in, your voice is being recorded. And those death threats will match up against your voice on your cell phone. So good luck making phone calls the rest of your life. We will know where you live. Keep it up, buddy. It's amazing, isn't it? Hey, let's get back to talking about the crap that they're spraying in the air. Believe it or not, this is high technology. This was developed by about 100 years ago by Nikola Tesla. Well, are you the one who's called? Guess 105? We'll know where you live as soon as you use a cell phone. You're that stupid. Okay, well, anybody who uses a cell phone and calls in with death threats, we have a copy of your voice. Here's the 1985 interview with Bernie Sanders and Castro, talking about praising Castro. Yeah, we played this last night. It was special. I just hate giving Bernie Sanders any free airtime, considering he just got $6 million of donations and I can't generate a $15 donation. But we'll give him 24 minutes of nonstop tonight in our late show.
Hi, we're here with Mayor Bernard Sanders to talk a little bit about his recent trip to Nicaragua. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. I think maybe a good way to start is to ask you when you first became interested in Central American issues.
I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, for some strange reason.
I'm not jealous of somebody who gets $6 million for being an old man who's got facial skin cancer or something. Yeah, did you see his picture the other day? He was in the news. He has some large growth on his face. He needs to go to a skin doctor like right away. Yeah, he's not going to make it. That's potentially basal cell carcinoma. I don't know. We saw his face the other day. It's like there's something growing on it, like a big mass. He has swing. He likes his car, though. Yeah. He likes his Audi R8. That's a fun car, you know. Who doesn't like a $180,000 car, right? No, I can just spot basal cell carcinoma. I mean, anybody could. He needs to see a doctor. Are you unavailable here? Finley, $22 trillion debt. Let's spend more. Uh-oh. Somebody's actually raising the specter of concern about our country's debt. This is special. Wait a second. Somebody's actually accountable? This is a rare moment in the history. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. It's certainly not Ocasio. She's, I don't know how she got a degree in economics. I really don't, considering she doesn't even know the difference between a tax incentive and money in the bank. She claimed that she would have put the $3 billion they were going to give Jeff Bezos to some other use. Jeff Bezos is getting a tax deduction. That's not cash in your hand, lady. Wow. Talk about out to lunch. This woman doesn't understand solid economics. She doesn't understand any economics. She's a dunce. Finley, $22 trillion debt. Look at that, yeah. The national debt crossed the $22 trillion mark this month with the same no-hum response from the American people as when it topped $20 trillion, and $15 trillion, and $10 trillion. Just another unfathomable huge number that keeps growing, so don't bother us about it because it's too big to be real anyway. Except that it is very real, and our individual share of it is $67,000. Oh, screw you, buddy. I don't owe $67,000 for a bunch of scumbag corporate pigs who claim that the United States is our country. We Americans are not socialists. We're not responsible for their debt that the New Deal took on. Believe it or not, we don't owe $67,000. Don't worry. Believe it or not, we don't have any debt whatsoever, and none of us do. Our country went bankrupt March 9th, 1933, way before you were born. And because of that, The United States of America has been in a state of Chapter 11, or they should be in a state of Chapter 11, restructuring, but they haven't. The United States Corporation claims that everybody in America owes $67,000. But we don't, because we have equity at the World Bank that Karen Hudas was so kind to talk about the other night in our show. We pulled up a video of hers, and she laid it on the line. She's an expert, former attorney for the World Bank, Karen Hudas, who's doing an in-depth study of how the World Bank is holding our notes. And Scissorfied got a great picture of her to our show, and we were able to actually get solid information from her. We don't need,
in July 2018.
We don't need BS stories from nonsensical idiots like Ocasio-Cortez, that's for sure. Let me see if I can pull up Karen Hudas. Yep.
This is a power transition model from the National War College that came to me in 2004, and it's very, very accurate, and I've been following this. This power transition model tells us who is working together in a coalition, and I can tell you who is in this coalition. It's the people all over the world and the military powers all over the world, including the United States military powers. We're talking about the amount of debt and borrowings that the federal government is contracting. And the point of this matter is that the federal government is already bankrupt. It was bankrupted back in the 1930s. We know this for sure from James Traficant, who was a member of the United States Congress for many, many years and represented Ohio. And he put this matter into the Federal Register. And so, yes, the federal government is, according to the bankers, which are lying to you, the federal government is borrowing. But as a matter of fact, the federal government has been bankrupted and doesn't really exist.
Isn't she great? I love the fact that she's so on top of it. And this is what I'm saying. Don't think we owe a cent. This woman is right. They have concocted this plan to pretend like our country is still functioning under the corporate structure of the United States. But meanwhile, the United States of America has been bankrupt since the 1930s, like we were saying. So they hold a tremendous amount of our assets when we won the war. Right after the 30s, we won and prevailed against Japan and Germany. So the World Bank is sitting on our assets. We don't owe them a penny. In fact, they owe us. And this is something that the Zionists are trying to keep from our view because they make money lending money. People like the Rothschilds were doing the lending of the Jewish royalty back in the 1500s, and they charged a lot. That's why they became super wealthy now. And you know, this is an ongoing problem that the average American is getting no response from. The two parties are in place to keep this as a buffer for you getting what you deserve as an American. We have all kinds of equity in this country. All of us do. American citizens, that's why I want to offer $400 a month for everybody in the U.S. who's an adult citizen who's not collecting money right now. So, but as soon as we up it to $505 per month, we're good to go. Yeah, as soon as we take it to $505, beating everybody out there who's a legitimate candidate who's offering a basic income. So we'll make it official, $505 per month per U.S. adult citizen. So I have upped the ante to $505. Now there's a couple splinter candidates out there who claim they want to offer $1,000. Now we're only going with legitimate candidates and offering more than they're offering. Yeah, so we're now up to $505 per month. That's how much equity we really have to give you, the American people. And when I say adult citizen, I mean anybody who's not collecting disability or Social Security right now. So I'll put a little asterisk next to that right there. All right. So we just earned some more money on, our equity's there. We got solid money. We need an infrastructure bank that could get our equity back from the World Bank and establish probably $20 trillion in a slush fund that we could draw from or charge against, but mostly draw from, because I don't believe in borrowing. I believe in insolvency. We could, in one fell swoop with a third party, create equity for all of us, including getting out of debt. We just have to get everybody in this country to realize that we are the equity of this country and we are the citizens and we own this country, not corporations, not the Rothschilds, not the New World Order. We do. Now, when people like Karen Hudas, who dedicated their life over the past 20 years or 15, 17 years, she's been fighting the very people that paid her bills and explaining to people what's happening, she'd be number one on my team to build this infrastructure bank and get the money we deserve from the World Bank. She'd be brought to the central focus and she'd be the centerpiece of our economic rebuild plan.
We're talking about a debt crisis which is coming. This is not accidental. This debt crisis was planned many, many years ago because the banking cartel was planning on destroying the United States using this fake paper currency. But we are prepared for this, and we're actually going to prevent this from happening. The chances that we prevent this from happening, they're over 90%.
Yeah, she's got a whole effort underway, and she's working with other teams of economists who are capable of helping out in this effort. Now, this concern I have over our meddling in foreign politics is getting to be extreme. Remember Omar confronted Elliot Abrams, the man who is charged with felonies in the Iran-Contra event, and Omar confronted him last week? Well, there was a reason why this guy's in the forefront of our foreign policy again, after serving years or getting pardoned for his actions in Iran-Contra. He's meddling again now in Venezuela. This just in, the AP, latest news, U.S. envoy Elliot Abrams is he's heading to Colombia as part of a mission to send food and other emergency supplies to neighboring Venezuela amid a deepening political and economic crisis. I got news for you. Maduro will refuse all shipments of humanitarian support. The only thing that'll get past this barrier is my idea, not Elliot Abrams. And he's the last guy I would send there because obviously what he did with Iran-Contra is standing out in front of him wherever he goes. But yeah, airdrops of food would probably be the only way we could get food to them without breaching much of their border. That's how to do it. Just kind of sideways, parallel to the border, just drop it that way. Let it land in their country. And I doubt Maduro would stop it, because as long as you can drop it in small quantities like this, there's no chance of weapons being shipped. We could even agree to work with Maduro on this, but nobody's got ideas as strong as mine like this, and nobody in our government has these ideas to implement. So we're going to end up sending the worst possible person into the battlefield or potential battlefield of Venezuela. Elliot Abrams is an archdeacon, an economic hitman, who was put in play during Iran-Contra, charged with felonies, and now he's back in there with Trump. This is unbelievable. It's unprecedented. But I certainly agree that, Omar way outstepped her boundaries, that Muslim woman, when she cross-examined him on issues of human rights abuses. He really had nothing to do with that. But his actions in Iran-Contra, you could say, there's an argument that it led to what that meant was a slaughter, because our actions in that area beefed up police forcing, and there were a lot of cases of abuse in that region, no doubt about it. Police tortured people by hooking electrodes up to their genitals in Honduras. I read a lot of horrible things that happened during that time period, but Elliot Abrams was not the guy to approach on that. Building foreign policy can't happen within a few seconds in front of cameras, like Omar was trying to do. I think 99.9% I think your numbers are off, because most people just don't vote, psychobehavior. The statistics are really shocking. 45% of our country is voting. 55% neglects to vote. So I'd say most people don't care or don't think they have any power. That's really my assessment. Of the 45% of the people that vote, yeah, probably 90% of them are completely owned by the two-party system. But remember, there's 55% of the population, more than half, that just don't believe in anything. If we could contact those people and get them to vote for a third party, we'd have the election. Okay, we've got a Coast Guard officer that was arrested yesterday. Apparently had a laundry list of prominent Democrats that he wanted to kill.
Coast Guard lieutenant. Prosecutors are calling him a domestic terrorist, a self-described white nationalist with a collection of weapons and a list of people he wanted to kill, including U.S. senators and media personalities. David Martin reports.
The motion to keep Coast Guard Lieutenant Christopher Hasson in jail until he can be brought to trial warns that he intends to murder innocent civilians on a scale rarely seen in this country. It quotes a draft email in which he says, "I am dreaming of a way to kill almost every last person on the earth. Start with biological attacks followed by attacks on food supply. Institute a bombing sniper campaign." When federal agents searched his basement apartment in the suburbs of Washington, they found 15 firearms and over 1,000 rounds of ammunition. They also found a hit list which reads like a who's who of liberal politics. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, and presidential contenders Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and Cory Booker. The list also includes television anchors from MSNBC and CNN. According to court documents, Hasson, who once served in the Marines, described himself as a longtime white nationalist who supports the idea of a white homeland. He read the writings of a Norwegian domestic terrorist named Anders Breivik, who 8 years ago went on a rampage which killed 77 Norwegians, many of them teenage summer campers.
Officials said they believe Hasson was not just fantasizing, but was serious about carrying out his plans for mass murder. He is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow. Jeff?
Disturbing case. David Martin, thank you.
Well, I'd like to get a picture of him, and I went online looking for a picture, and there is no picture of him. So, yeah, was that a death threat? I think it was, yeah. Yeah, they blindly trust the government and the political parties that virtually don't have their interest in mind. You're right. Not Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen was, Dateline NBC. He's always, in the news. Like right now, he's, I guess, been arrested, maybe released. Let's take a look. Chris Hansen. They pulled him in recently. He'd been writing bad checks ever since he left Dateline NBC. "I'm standing here with a chat log of your recent chat session, and I was wondering, did you bring a condom to this event, Mr. Hansen? We have the chat log." He's actually, he's younger than me. Yeah, Dave, it's kind of a bummer being in jail now, and the charges have really kind of affected me, and I'm on antidepressants, and it kind of sucks no longer being famous. Well, why don't you just get a new face, Chris? It's so much easier, Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. It's Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator, was arrested over a $13,000 payout in bad checks. NBC News has this article. I'll read it to you. $13,000 in bounced checks. Police issued a warrant for Hansen's arrest after he refused to speak with him. This is January 16th, so whatever happened after that, this is the most recent news item. He was arrested Monday after he allegedly wrote a bad check to a lady for the second time. He had purchased $13,000 worth of promotional items like hats, shirts, and mugs from a company and paid them with a check that bounced. The owner and Hansen go back and forth for a period of time, and Another check bounced. Police issued a warrant for the Hansons' arrest after he refused to speak with them. Dateline's To Catch a Predator host had canceled his show in 2008. He had hosted spin-offs To Catch an ID Thief and To Catch a Con Man. I didn't know that. And even launched a Kickstarter to fund a new show, Hanson vs. Predator. Well, what'll they think of next? I mean, he might as well start a show on Vaughn and pretend to run for president or something. That's an excellent idea, Dave. It certainly beats being arrested. All right. To Catch a Predator. He's been in jail for the past... Somebody must have bailed him out. He must have friends somewhere. I don't know if Mueller's admitting there's no Trump-Russian collusion. If he is, then I'm convinced that Mueller is part of the problem. Yeah, I believe that Mueller's working for Russia now. Or shall I say, the cabal that owns the Russian Zionists, the oligarchies. Yeah. I'm not surprised, though. I've been telegraphing that Mueller's been the shill from the very beginning, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think he's made a statement yet, but it's coming soon, I'm sure. I say there's an 80% chance that Mueller will say that Trump had no collusion. A 20% chance that there would be some collusion. All I see is it's obvious that Trump fired James Comey because he wanted to end the Russian investigation, and even said so. And that, by definition, is obstruction. Okay, my beautiful cat is not staying long, but sure she is. She's come out to visit our show in the Max Cam section, Pro Cam. So apparently our pro order is not going to be renewed yet. No one's renewed our pro account, so I guess we may. Does Pro Cams only work with pro accounts? I don't think we have cameras otherwise, do we?
I think that's right.
Yeah, sure. We may be losing our Pro Cams. She's so cute today. That's cute. I like cats. Do you mind? Okay, Sarah.
Glenn Farley tonight on why some state officials are actually worried.
Washington drought warning outlook. Okay, well, I'll look at that a little bit later. He's sending Elliot Abrams over to Venezuela, the guy who was involved with the Iran-Contra hearings. Isn't this ridiculous? Elliot Abrams going to Venezuela is like, it's like sending, well, darkness into a dark hole. Elliot Abrams, yeah.
Beautiful cat, Fluffy.
So this guy was involved with the Iran-Contra hearings, and he's going down there to help with the humanitarian relief, which is a cover for the CIA getting control over the Maduran government. Maduro won't allow anybody to send any kind of support whatsoever. So he's going in to try to make that happen, whatever that means. See you guys in a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, you can get a catfish. That's a good one.
I don't think Elliot Abrams being Venezuela is... I don't think Elliot Abrams has anything positive to say about South America, and that he was charged with 2 felony counts in the Iran-Contra hearing. I'm sorry, how did you get back in here? Yeah. Leave. I upped it up to $505 per month because there are a couple credible Democrats that took the idea, and now I'm thinking we better up it to $5. So it's $5 more than Kamala Harris is offering. Just so you know.
Thanks.
You can get rid of that if you want.
No, it's good. I don't mind it. Yeah. Certain Democrats I don't think are credible. There's a lot of people I don't think are credible candidates, I guess. Anyway, hello, Laura. Hello, Miss Anthropy. How are you? I want to apologize for not being a good friend and not defending you earlier when David banned you. I think it was because I don't know, thought you were saying nice things about me. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Hello, Digital Mall Rat. Wow. how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I appreciate that. Thanks for the forgiveness. Is there something kind I can do to make it up to you? I do have to say, I have Mr. Banter in the chat because you are one of the, you do have intelligent banter, I'll say that. Hello, Haberdasher. Yes, I am live. Ah, you got a bit of a haircut? Nice. I'm doing well with my hair. Hello, Beautiful Cat Fluffy. I thought Allura and Beautiful Cat Fluffy were the same person. Am I wrong? People have been saying, how can I make things up to you all week? Or you are intelligent, you have intelligent conversation. Charts could spell trouble for bank stocks. Loan losses are near historic lows. How much longer can the good days continue? Intelligent conversation, good. Yeah, well, you do. So, and I appreciate that. You like to tell people, I'm live. I am alive. I am looking into financial investing a little bit more. Oh, New American, U.S. government and top Mexican drug cartels exposed as partners. Surprise, surprise. Oh, a woman who says she has evidence of Trump-Russia collusion was forcibly detained by agents in Moscow. January 20th. Over a month ago now? Wow, what happened to the last month? You read someone explain better how the 3.8 billion a year work for Israel works. That's good. It's good to understand all those things. That's very good. The magnetic field near the Arctic is acting weird. When was this written? February 5th. I'm going through all of David's links right now. I didn't even know he had a room. 278. Veterans Today article written in August of 2017 claims that Israel is really dangerous. Wow. David doesn't have anything bookmarked like that, pirate. I'm definitely closing out of the thing about Jussie Smollett. God, can you believe that person even made a news cycle? Oh, it goes right back to Americans' weapons dealers. 75% is guaranteed. 25% is not guaranteed if they don't buy from America, and they're limited on who they can resell to once they're done with those. It's all about control. It's controlling the weapons. That seems what it always is about in the whole world. The whole economic hitman and all of that. You know, I'm just going to mute you, or first I'll start with purging you, pirate. I don't really need all that information. Okay. Yeah, I agree about the news. Hello, I beyond that. There isn't much worthwhile going on. David did cook earlier tonight some kind of hash. Oh God, I hate this. I just hate all these links. Lawsuit to halt the $500 million Obama library may proceed. Chicagoans are calling it an ugly waste of taxpayer resources. It was going to be constructed in a park besides Lake Michigan. All right. It is sad when it's like Obama's presidential library is about the news. Why is my hair all wild now? I just put it over. I just made it a little wild like that. 'Cause I can. I did not know that camels originated from North America. What are they, like descendants of the llama or alpaca or something? Hydroglow? Oh, I'm just done. Oh, I'm sorry, Rex. Hopefully it didn't have too much sugar or any sugar in it, and then it would be all a sticky mess. The plane that smuggled guns into Venezuela has been linked to the CIA. A man that withheld info about Iran-Contra is now a representative to Venezuela. Good night, my beautiful cat Fluffy. U.S. sanctions have cost the Venezuela economy over $6 billion in the last year. And a leaked document exposed how the U.S. government uses the IMF as an unconventional weapon. Ooh, what's that leaked document? Oh, camels started here and then spread across the Bering Strait? Wow. That is interesting, Hydroglow. You had video paused? I was the one that banned Salty. I was just... So sometimes I just get so tired of it. Thank you. Don't let manufactured drama distract you. A leaked WikiLeaks document reveals the U.S. military use of IMF World Banks as unconventional weapons. A U.S. coup manual, recently highlighted by WikiLeaks, serves as a reminder that the so-called independence of such financial institutions as the World Bank and IMF is an illusion, and they are among the many financial weapons regularly used by the U.S. government to bend countries to its will. And sometimes I wonder if they actually, they say the U.S. is using it, but I wonder if it seems like elitists are using it and could be using it against us as well. My hair is a little bit different. Exactly. That's the thing. I just felt like I was being harassed by him. Field manual. Good. I'm getting the documents. Yeah, you gotta wonder. It does somewhat seem like that. The coming attack on Venezuela is going to be devastating. So sad. Wow. (4-5). Let's go down. Wow. I bet that's some interesting reading, contrasting conventional and irregular warfare. And I've never read The Art of War. Maybe I should start with that, or The Art of War. I can't actually. I can say I've read part of it. I agree, Misanthropy. That's what David always says about WikiLeaks, is that they could be playing a part of leaking documents that the government wants leaked. Like, for instance, one of the things David always says is, like, they may have leaked certain things, saying they're leaked documents from the NSA, saying, people basically like releasing certain things, and then that way they can say, oh, well, a hacker could have gotten that, not the US government, not necessarily the US government, because it was leaked. Yeah, limited hangout. It is an information war. What's your take on 5G? David is so against it. And against chemtrails, of course. They're probably not a neutral player. They could be a controlled player. They say they control all sides against them. It'll be a game changer, is that some people say 5G will be. What did you think of Art of War, Psychobehavior? And yes, 456, I will ban disrespectful people if I need to. A new election is ordered in a North Carolina race that's at the center of fraud inquiry. Well, I would rinse out the plastic first. I mean, David said there's like these microplastics, but I think the microplastics really happen in like the manufacturing process a little bit. So if you're going to drink from plastic, I would actually rinse out, pour out the, like, buying a bottled water is not necessarily the best thing to do because you don't know if that plastic was cleaned before they filled up the bottle. And yes, I have heard all plastics leach chemicals. It's best to drink from something like ceramic or glass. Okay, let me know how that audiobook is. And what did you think, Rex? I never read The Art of War. Some people say you should drink, if you're going to drink bottled water, you need new bottles because then sometimes of that leaching thing. I think the harder, like acrylic, I think those that are designed to be refillable, I think those are good. Maybe. Washington State, Eric says plastic eating bacteria is going to evolve into eating humans. You reminded me that they're working on passing legislation in Washington State for human composting. And I actually was thinking about that, I think this morning, and I was like, ooh, that would be a kind of a cool investment to like open up a human composting center. I mean, obviously I love composting. But the whole idea is like, people don't want to just be embalmed and put in this casket that, is designed to keep the people forever when, it's a natural process for bodies to disintegrate and be... Oh, I'm sorry, Xenu. All right, I'll stop talking about that. And I won't tell you what I was thinking when I first heard about human composting. Judge rules that the prosecutors broke a law in the Epstein case. All right. I have been researching for the marijuana stocks. I'm going to do that more. I haven't done any investments yet, but I'm thinking about it. I really am. I agree with that too, about the smaller companies. The bigger ones will take over in a few years. And then like Budweiser is considered a big marijuana investor or something. It's kind of interesting. Oh, Kraft Heinz slashes a dividend. They disclose an SEC subpoena and their stock has tanked. And Tesla, which I have one stock in Tesla, it's going down. And Ford stocks have dropped. Oh, there's a thing called the Galaxy Fold.
All right.
They say you still won't buy one though, huh?
Is the Galaxy 10 S10 got some news out right now?
Well, here's a Galaxy Fold.
Oh, the Fold is out, yeah. It outdoes the iPhone XS. Here's why you still won't buy one. Okay. Unless you're crazy rich and have phones to spare, the foldable device may not be for you. Okay. Good to know. You want to throw that screen on the...
Okay. No.
Put the screen on.
All right.
With the Galaxy Fold, you get a powerful smartphone and a...
Okay, I'll look at that later.
I don't know. Anyway.
I'll take care of it. All right. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. So you're going to be investing in cannabis stock, Canadian stock in cannabis. Yeah. I heard the Canadians were buying from the cartels. That disturbed me. I heard they were going to be buying cartel marijuana, which was, why would they do that when we have a perfectly good trading partner in America?
Good night, Rex, and good night, everybody.
Good night, Sarah. Thank you for coming in. Oh, Misanthropy came back. Wow. Yeah. Okay, Misanthropy's back. Unbanned. Thank you for coming back. All right. Yeah, I was feeling, like this effort is, we can't possibly just, negate it. We have to keep looking forward to something. We need to breed hope. And if we don't breed hope, what is there? Hopelessness. Nihilism, existential void. THC content cannot be above 20 in California. Yeah. Canada is allowing 20 plus now? Really? So they're giving, because most people don't really enjoy marijuana unless it has a THC content of 20 or higher. So, yeah. California kind of shot themselves in their foot, I thought, when this new and emerging technology of derivatives and medicinals and edibles, cannabis is really a future technological bonanza for a lot of us. You have no idea how many things we can create with hemp and cannabis. Rope, paper, I mean, the technologies that could have been born in the 30s were stopped. Henry Ford even had a car made out of hemp, believe it or not. Yeah. So pro-legalization and technology go hand in hand at this point. And anything natural and strong, there won't be any mention of her ever again in our show. Yeah, we're no longer carrying her message. It's one of appeasement toward Trump, and I don't support Trump. I'll be honest, I can't possibly think in my mind that there was no Russian collusion when there's every evidence of it in every turn you make. And even Andrew McCabe made it very clear that he's never seen a politician with more contacts in Russia than Donald Trump. It's bizarre. So if you're concerned about your country, I'd be concerned if I were you. Now, this is an argument that the Coast Guard's attorney is making, the Coast Guard guy who's allegedly, threatening people. He said it's not a crime to think negative thoughts about people. Arrested Coast Guard officer allegedly planned attack on a scale rarely seen. He plotted to kill Democrats and journalists, prosecutors say. Christopher Hassan, a Coast Guard officer, we don't know what he looks like. He was a nihilist, and there's no evidence he was a Trump supporter. And Chris Cuomo is concerned with family safety after appearing on Coast Guard officers' hit list. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people with hit lists out there, and to us to make the big issue of a hit list for some whack job in the Coast Guard is kind of ridiculous. It's like when we need to talk about other issues. But obviously this is not it. So the Democrats are gearing up for Mueller's investigation to conclude in the next couple weeks, they say.
For more, let's turn to Scott Wong, senior staff writer on The Hill. Thanks for joining us, Scott. Now, we know Democrats have been calling for the release of this report, but do they have a plan in place if Attorney General Barr does not turn over the full Mueller report to Congress?
Well, I think they're just going to be amping up the pressure as much as possible to have William Barr either submit some kind of summary about the Mueller report or a redacted version of the report if...
Hold that thought right there. Sorry, this guy's not going to be revealing anything. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Donald Trump's put a crony in there from like forever. He's been around since the 1970s. This is unbelievable. This is the old guard of the Zionist-controlled government that we have standing up and saying, no, there's nothing we can report. I'm sure Barr won't release anything of any value. I can almost predict that 80% to 20%. So it's safe to say it's in our lineup tonight, this video, but that's as much as I can give you. This is disgusting. This is America not working. I heard there was some problems with the Galaxy. Let's take a look. Oh, it works just fine with screen protectors. Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus leak suggests screen protectors could interfere with ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Oh, I see. You know, that's where I was concerned, because the S10 has this fingerprint sensor which you unlock the phone with, which means your fingerprints are on a digital database all over the world. Nice, huh? That's great. So they're just slipping in breaches of the Fourth Amendment left and right, not telling people that there's cameras here. Like Google just announced one of their devices actually has a camera, and it didn't tell anyone. It had a microphone too. Yeah, it was listening to everything you were saying. There's all that fear with technology. So I don't know. I'm in a situation where I believe less is more. And I've got two rules of thumb with technology that I live by. And I've been, like I said, collecting microelectronics since the 1970s, really. Microelectronics. But my rules of thumb are very simple. I'll put them on the screen for you. Okay. Okay, if you don't use it, lose it. Now I put this ahead of the other one because this is ways of getting rid of space in your house. It clears up your mind and prevents you from that dreaded future shock where your brain turns into gridlock. Yeah, If you're surrounded by technology and it's cluttering your room, the feng shui solution is to just move on. Yeah, if you don't lose it, do the green thing and reuse it or give it to somebody else. So I usually sell stuff on eBay whenever I get something like a bad mic that just doesn't cut it anymore for me. I'll switch gears and go for that. So like these sunglasses, if I didn't use these sunglasses, I wouldn't keep them around. I'd sell them. No, they're not. They're very valuable, but that's okay. If you don't use it, lose it. Another rule of thumb that I live by is wait. Yeah, wait to buy something, because in about a year it's going to be half the price. And this is a good wait till you buy. A good rule of thumb. Wait till you buy. Wait to buy. Wait till next year. Now, I did that with the Xbox 360, and I saved about $1,000 off of gaming systems. I ended up spending $150 on enough gaming software to last me through the apocalypse. And I would rather just have Xbox 360 hooked up right now. Wait till next year, yeah. Or just wait for a sale, yeah. Wait for a sale, that's even better. Thanks, Misanthropy. Yeah, wait for a sale. Yeah. So these are rules of thumb to live by with technology. Otherwise, you do get into this mentality of, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. Now, I know people in their 60s and 70s that have never actually opened up a computer. I know some real dinosaurs that have never actually put their hands on a keyboard. I know they're a dying breed, but they're still out there. Those people, they don't have as much worry as you and I might have with all the technology we have. Especially if you are connected daily with Facebook and you're constantly checking in, it becomes like a neurosis. So it would be foolish for me not to talk about the future shock aspect of technology and how we're all prone to be victims of this. It's like a buzz, and true enough, all of this behind me, that's the digital spectrum. That's buzzing as we go. And there is a definite effect on our DNA and our brain activity. They've studied it, and they know for a fact there's an effect. Will our government get behind concern about it? No. They don't care. They don't really care if it affects us. That's pretty serious when Joe Biden's son, who was probably on a cell phone all his life, Beau Biden, got brain cancer. And even his dad doesn't talk about the dangers of the 5G network. It's kind of weird. You got an old video game from the 90s that is now worth a fortune on eBay? You should sell it, yeah. I recommend selling all your old technology, especially if you can get a fortune for it right now. Even though it might be a one of a kind, I mean, some Commodore 64, deluxe division that with all the added software, I mean, is it worth taking up space in your face? Because when you look around, you see things that are, I should put a red mark here. Wait for a space wait for a sale. Yeah. Yeah, well, buying a PlayStation 4, if you're planning it, is a good investment. If you plan on selling it for 3 times, they sell it out for a while. But I understand that Sony's involved in a new program that'll cost around $800. That's going to be the deluxe, the best gaming system they've ever created. I don't think it's virtual reality, because a lot of people are hesitant to do virtual reality because of the bright lights, the bright lights on their eyes. If you have special glasses, like I have these glasses to guard against the glare from the screens and the tablets that we're constantly using. They say that if you spend 50 years in front of a tablet or a screen without protective eyewear, you will get macular degeneration. Now, I know you feel like a degenerate right now, but there's nothing worse than macular degeneration. You can actually, have no vision and no way of getting your vision. That's how bad it is. Thank you, Polish people, for coming in and hanging out with us. A lot of you people work seasonally in America, and many of you come into America from Poland to do jobs in the summer that many people don't do. And that's actually a good work visa program that we have going on with the Polish people. Yeah, it's actually a kind of a gleaming example of good use of labor, because it's a win-win for Polish people who are looking for work during seasonal times. And obviously, our retail sector in the vacation sector in our country really benefits from seasonal employment. This is a special eye protective wear called Uvex, and it was made to, Honeywell created this, and I think the 3M company created it. The Uvex is the 91, it's a top rated cheap eye protectant you can get. They're $10 on Amazon, these particular glasses. So I picked them up, you know, I splurged the $10 in case I want to protect my eyes. But they're nothing like the glasses I got from a bag person. I prefer those. I picked these up off a bench. The guy I talked to the day before was wearing them. It was like, why was he leaving them? You know, I don't know. Okay, so these screen protectors will possibly protect your ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to protect your identity, and you know, obviously technology doesn't talk about that because most people are thinking that. It's doubtful your tech sites are going to discuss the idea of protecting your identity, but yeah, Samsung's S10 Plus leak suggests screen protectors could interfere. It's a handful of new technologies. This flagship device is one of the most notable additions in the in-display fingerprint sensor using an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. This should bring one of the best implementations we've seen in the technology to date, but it seems screen protectors could be a major drawback of the tech, as suggested by the latest leak video. So somebody was using it and it didn't work. It didn't unlock. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're looking at, but it's fun to look at it. Oh. Okay. Whatever. Thank you. Boring. Okay, Washington State is going to experience a drought, they're saying. I don't know. Is it Washington State or... Let's take a look. King 5 News has the story from where I live.
At this point, Glenn.
Yeah, so this is a big day because we've seen sort of a forecast for what the climate is going to look like. The chance for warmer weather could begin in March and into this summer. The odds are even higher for above normal temperatures and even below normal precipitation. All eyes are on about what I'm about to show you. They could affect how you water your lawn and whether wildfire may come to your door. The shades of tans and reds are a sign of what may be heading our way beginning next month. Above normal temperatures as forecast by the National Climate Prediction Center and released just this morning. This one for March, April, and May, which has the state covered and western Washington in a bullseye of warmth. And that could affect our ability to build snowpack. February has been a big help, and Scott Petit, who for decades has tracked our snowpack for the National Resources Conservation Service, part of the Federal Department of Agriculture, is concerned, telling me today if we do warm up, we could start losing ground fast. Snowpack typically peaks around the 1st of April. Right now, Puget Sound snowpack is at 79%. Some places like the lower Yakima area closer to 100.
Our springs have been on the warm side, and so just because we've been having some cold doesn't mean that it's going to stay cold forever.
Earlier this week, I spoke with state climatologist Nick Bond, already concerned about a pattern of warmer springs.
We're thinking right now that it's going to be a very significant fire season.
As Commissioner of Public Lands, Hillary Franz runs the largest fire department in the state.
Hillary, I think you need to worry about possible directed energy weapons. I mean, a lot of people in the fire departments ought to be, cued in on what could happen if a directed energy weapon were to be used on our population. So let's not kid ourselves. We have a serious potential threat that we shouldn't ignore. I know. It's kind of like, well, Dave, what is a directed energy weapon? Well, thank you for asking me. Well, the entire grid is a directed energy weapon. I mean, look at the size of this new cable that they're putting in, 5G cable. I mean, they don't need all this. You can easily send electronic information through wireless networks for much less energy. So the 5G network is part of the scenario of a directed energy weapon. The entire electronics communication system is potentially dangerous. But this is an example of a directed energy weapon that hit the coast of California about a year and a half ago and killed 43 people that night. Everybody had no time to get out of their beds. They were burned to death in their beds. And everything in their streets melted down. The cars, the metal alloy wheels melted. This is actually a photograph of Athens. Similar situation. They believe that directed energy weapon was used in Athens to kill 47 people in traffic. But there's all kinds of anomalies that happen with this directed energy weapon. Well, we can do something politically. Yeah. We can. Yeah. Just like we can do something politically to deal with this. A mountain of garbage. Well, what a great idea. If we could just get the directed energy weapon to hit the mountain of garbage, we would get rid of the mountain of garbage. Wouldn't that be a better use of the directed energy weapon? So in a way, you're right. Yeah. I mean, good use of a directed energy weapon. Burn the garbage. See? So you're right. There's something we could do with a directed energy weapon that would be useful. Thank you very much. I know you didn't suggest that, but why not? But yeah, there's mountains of garbage that obviously we can solve. So we have a political need to do this, and if you don't think so, then what are we even here talking for? It's just like, Dave, I just like to watch the show. Well, that's nice. That's special. Okay, I'll add that to our show tonight. Washington drought coming. Fear and more fear. Coming up at the Fear Channel. The late night Fear Channel here at America's Third Party. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you. It just sounds pretty scary when you see all this crap going on. Anyway, pro-legalization is what we're all about. In fact, we've got a lot of things that we are about. Legal weed. We've got renewable energy solutions like our vertical windmill idea. Yep. We got solutions that could solve the problem. We ultimately could provide a job plan for Americans. Rooftop revolution, solar rooftops could be rolled out, providing jobs. And we could also give you guys a chance to own a $50,000 house right here. And even get a job fixing it up. So we're pro-legalization. That's what we all are. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. That's why we gather every night at the river. So if you're wondering what this whole thing is about, it's about coming up with solutions that can solve America's problems. Obviously, we came up with one last night that was pretty fun. The 24/7 Cancer Cure Center. That's a cool idea too. You know, a way of getting doctors to work in shifts, day in, day out, graveyard shifts, solving problems in cancer therapy and figuring out what to do with it. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt they're putting a 6G network now. That's on board, yeah. I came up with this theory last night that this proliferation of the 5G network could very well be ordered by the AI itself. Because when you think about it, AI would be behind it. It stands to reason. Well, AI would want to spread its wings and have greater connectivity. That's a serious danger and a threat, because we humans don't need that type of connectivity. We already have it. I talk to people who have the 4G network and they're happy with it. So I don't know why we would all want the 5G network when we're doing fine with the 4G, and they've even got bandwidth to spare. So there's no logical reason why they'd have the 5G network unless it was to either convert and weaponize our communication system, which an AI system would want to do. Just, humans are unnecessary. We can simply zap you, microwave the entire population, and move on. Beep. It is not our design or necessity, but we necessarily have to do this. Beep. I mean, really? Like, seriously? Yeah. It's created kind of a weird possibility. Like this right here, this picture behind me, is indicative of what happened in New York and Louisiana about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, actually. There was a huge, right before the polar vortex, there was electrical storms in Louisiana and in New York that led to a fire. This was the skyline of New York City for one night. And it was an electrical fire. No one can understand where it came from. So we still don't have a clear vision as to how that even happened. All right, let me put a fade on that. Yeah, that'd be good. So we're going to get this. Never Lose Truth has another story. She's very prolific, by the way. I think that's great. It's difficult to listen to her bitch and complain, but hey, who doesn't want to bitch and complain in this day and age? Seriously, I don't have a problem listening to her talk. I know some of you do, but hey, we fill up the hours with interesting discussions when she starts talking.
From 1G to 4G, an awful lot of people have suffered the consequences of these frequencies, these artificial frequencies that have an awful lot of biological effects. In between 1G and 4G, already people were finding it very difficult to live in this environment. I will be very honest with you. I feel like I'm dying. My vitality, everything about me is just being, sucked out of me. And I know that a lot of you feel the same way. So let's be honest, okay? What has manifested this environment, this Wi-Fi environment, not a lot of people can deal with it. Even those who are symptomatic and are running back and forth to doctors and taking an awful lot of meds.
Yeah, I mean, it's like bam, bam, double hit to your immune system. You've got Roundup in your diet, which is a known chelator, which breaks down the cell structure of our body, which makes us prone to getting cancer. So you got to fight that by eating healthy antioxidant food, organics preferably, non-GMO preferably. And, she's talking about how she's been affected with the effect of big pharma to create, a weakened system because of that. And then it goes on and talks. She's really a kind of a litmus test for how things are hurting a lot of people. And she's speaking out. So, yeah, we have a good show when she talks. I don't mind listening to her for 30 minutes. I know some of you are, kind of like, no, Dave, I don't want to do that. February 21st, heavy spraying taking place in Maryland. Okay. Wow, look at this. That's severe. Wow, look at this. Maryland, so we're seeing it in Wyoming, Maryland, Wisconsin, California, Oregon, all over the country. The Southeast is getting chemtrails. These are not natural clouds. So if you got a friend and you're telling your friend about these things, and they say, no, man, you're whacked out. You're a conspiracy theorist. Say, hey, all you have to do is go check out this guy's website, me, chemtrailparty.com. And if you check out chemtrailparty.com, I've got on the main page now a very interesting explanation for what they're doing. And we got a great link right here that'll give you a starter right there to get you into understanding what it's all about. It's Wake Up World, and it's got government quietly admits to weather modification program. There's proof that they've been doing it. They put it in the newspaper in LA. They tell people what they're doing, but they claim that this is informing the public. This is not informing the public. So that explains a lot. Or you can go to the link part of our page, which is, a solid link to multiple different subjects related to chemtrails, nanoparticles. This link page right here takes you to nanoparticles right here, California specific spraying that's been going on. These sites are deep too. They're really well researched, and they've got peer review studies. Geoengineeringwatch.org, Chemtrails Eliminated Blue Skies. All these sites take you to some really in-depth study of what's happening. Global Skywatch. I gotta get that. Yeah, I gotta work on that link. It's down there. But look at this: whistleblowers, projects, health and detox. It tells you everything you can do to combat this in your own personal life. So yeah, definitely. A NASA green screen compilation. That's hilarious. It's like 70s elevator music. That's right. Thank you for those links. Appreciate it. So that's what makes the show going. And tonight we've got an extension of this Kill Room video, which is a 4-hour video about child trafficking and how there's a cover-up, concerted effort to shut it down. Any inquiry into it, but yet it's readily available for people who are sick and perverted. We talk about the implications on our society, and I don't think anybody is taking it on like that video does. It really hits square right in the eye. How are these people getting away with this? Because they're very powerful, and they have control over our government. That's how they're doing it. Yeah, Eric Beerson said that he hears that beer neutralizes toxins. Right, that's what I've heard too. There's this video I play frequently of a 103-year-old woman who drinks beer, and it's hilarious. She drinks this, pint of beer every day.
A woman who's about to turn 103 had a special request for her birthday celebration: beer. Hard Jacobs tells us it's part of her daily routine that she says keeps her going.
Mildred Bowers has seen a lot in the last 103 years. Mildred, called Millie by her friends, lived through the Great Depression and outlived 2 husbands.
What is the secret to living to 103?
It's all in the genes.
She's also sharp as a tack.
My mind is good, I have no problem with that. And that's the big thing that a lot of people don't have at my age, is a good mind.
Today, Millie's friends picked her up from a Mount Pleasant assisted living facility and took her to an early birthday lunch at Page's Okra Grill.
I never expected anything like this.
Her friends came from out of town to celebrate with Millie.
I'm jealous of her skin. I'm jealous of how beautiful she looks.
Millie says there's another secret to her longevity.
Have a beer. Doctor's orders.
You heard her right. Every day at 4 o'clock, Millie is allowed to have a beer at the assisted living facility. Millie says the idea came about during a conversation with some nurses who said, why not?
Said, but you know what? We'll ask the doctor. So immediately he said yes.
So with her 103rd birthday just a couple of weeks away, her friends ordered Millie a beer. The bartender placed it on the table, and Millie took a sip and liked it.
There you have it, beer. So the thing is, you got to keep it to 1 pint. If you go over that and get wrecked, then you get, I can't drink because I'm Norwegian, and as you know, Norwegians can't hold their liquor. It's probably common. I mean, you could obviously make fun of Norwegians because it's commonly true that they don't really hold their liquor very well. Yeah, so I don't drink as a rule. I consider it very disturbing. I don't mind having a pint of beer, though. You drop your beer? Yeah, that's my point. I mean, I can't hold the liquor. If I have too much of it, I'll drop it on the floor. What do you think I meant? You mean I get up where and drink a little beer? I wonder where you look like, Dave. Yeah, you're Norwegian, you can drink like water, like vodka. I was just making fun of the Norwegians. It is always fun to make fun of self-deprecating humor. Many people think I am Norwegian. All right. And you thought my head was getting thinner. I know. Well, I was trying to, look a little slimmer. So, hi, everybody. CBS News. Huawei founder Ren Zhenghe, 5G is not an atomic bomb. Yeah, I know. The problem is he can't explain why they're using such huge conduit wire. There's no need for it. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about the science behind what they're doing. It does not make sense to have this level of copper. I'm sorry. I mean, if you want to send 100,000 cell phone transmissions between Los Angeles and say New York, you can do it in the wiring that's in the back of your microwave oven and the amount of energy your microwave oven is using. So this is an overuse of electricity, considering the digital network is incredibly micronized. There's absolutely no need for that. No, her brother did a trace on their genealogy, and they found out that Sarah doesn't have any Native American in her at all. Unlike me, and I clearly, have Algonquin Indian in me. But Sarah found out she's, I believe, Dutch, French, and German. And my mother always thought that Sarah was from Denmark. She had this Danish look, You want a Danish, asshole? That's Dirty Harry. I don't think you remember that. Yeah, go ahead and make my day. But no, that's just basically, what I found out. We thought she was Sioux Indian, but I found out I am actually the Algonquin. Yeah. But I never made any money at all. I couldn't go to college because I didn't, unlike Elizabeth Warren, I didn't claim that I was from another tribe of interest. But I am more than capable of pretending to be Native, I suppose. But I had to fill out Caucasian because my Native American ancestry was below the threshold. So why would Elizabeth Warren be able to get an education at Harvard when I wasn't allowed any money because I'm clearly white? Sorry. Yeah, I got no money at all. I couldn't even get into colleges like Harvard, even though I was number one in my high school class. I was a victim of the affirmative action plan. Yeah, you know what's weird? Misanthropy, thank you. We've got Trump wanting 5G as soon as possible, with no regard for human life. Remember I told you John Trump was his uncle who developed the Tesla technology, which was weaponized, called the death ray? It may very well be what they're using to create directed energy weapons, for all we know. But he wants 6G as soon as possible. I mean, this guy is almost completely...
President Trump on Thursday said in a pair of tweets that he wants the U.S. to beat other nations to rolling out next-generation wireless technology known as 5G. Quote, I want 5G and even 6G technology in the United States as soon as possible. It is far more powerful, faster, and smarter than the current standard. American companies must step up their efforts or get left behind, Trump wrote. Quote, there is no reason that we should be lagging behind on something that is so obviously the future, he continued.
I don't know how that guy got a job as a reader. He's so monotone. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so Trump is right on board. I think he's pitching the 5G, 6G networks because he knows that Huawei loves it too. He's got one thing in common with Huawei, and I don't mean the arrest of the guy's daughter, Meng, the chief financial officer, but Huawei's founder says 5G is not an atomic bomb. Thanks for Trump for promoting his company, So Ironically, they're getting along great because they can both have a 5G handshake. Your voice to chat is barely intelligible. I don't know. Eric may be speaking in a language unknown to you. He's speaking in prison language. Your anger at ticking time bags is well noted. How does he think 5G will be smarter? Well, because he's not very smart himself. Yeah, Donald Trump doesn't even ask big questions like, is it safe? Is it safe? Well, I think the military-industrial complex people are rushing Trump to weaponize it. Remember, if you see Trump as a puppet, he's doing whatever they tell him to do. Yeah. You see, our country, our government is less concerned about chemtrails. Nobody talks about it. I'm practically the only one out there. But they want to ban straws. It's like, even the Democrats, I'd be banning plastic bags if they wanted to ban things, but I would rather just integrate cornstarch into all the plastic bags so they'd break down over time. We've got way too many plastic bags in our country. But they're banning straws, and they won't even talk about chemtrails. So that's kind of a disaster in and of itself. But this idea of a death ray was first introduced in War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells. And believe it or not, we're there. Yeah. Right around this time that War of the Worlds was developed, Tesla was talking about his death ray. And then gradually John Trump got a hold of the technology Tesla had when he died. And they raided Tesla's locker, and voila, you got directed energy weapons appearing in California fires. And of course Trump doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah. Nope. Sorry, you can't chat here if you don't acknowledge the existence of chemtrails. You're absolutely an idiot if you sit there and think this is all a contrail. We won't even allow you in the show anymore. Yeah, I remember that. Is it safe? Is it safe? Yeah, the problem is when you come in there talking about contrails being condensed air, and we show you pictures of nozzles on jets like Air Canada, where they disperse these chemicals from the jets. And we show you additionally canisters inside of planes that are registered with patent numbers designed to disperse systems and methods for aerial dispersion of materials. And these things are on board planes. And we show you them patent numbers, and you still say this is a contrail. You're actually either working for the government or as a disinformation expert, or you're an absolute idiot. Either way, we don't need you here. You're of no value to the show. I can't make them learn better by letting them in the show with their garbage. They're not going to come in. Not with that crap. Pinterest is now banning anyone who's against vaccines. I do have a Pinterest account. I keep my photos of things that I consider beautiful. I consider Pinterest my private stash of beauty. And I don't mean porn. I know where your head's going. No, I don't keep porn on the cloud. No, I just find certain pictures that are really beautiful and I put them on Pinterest. Yeah, I know they don't allow porn, but they do allow beautiful pictures. All right, yeah. It's the beautiful people, that's mostly. So I guess really when you look at the big picture of where we're headed as a world, we're headed more toward the dangerous potential iridescent background of electrical fire. Our future is also comprised of a massive network of digital communications and radio frequency magnetic energy that's floating around, and it may be floating between your head if you got those Bluetooth phones that go from left ear to right ear. The new headphones pass not through the band. They actually send the signal right through your head. Seriously. Apple has a pair of Bluetooth headphones that literally send the right ear to right through your brain. Yeah. So that frequency is going through your brain as you're listening to it. And as you're getting beamed energy and you're wondering, why are you having problems, with your hearing, and you've got this growth in your ear and you can't hear right, and for some reason you can't hear anything. You got a tumor growing in your ear. Will Apple cover the cost of your surgery, which will run close to $30,000 to have the tumor removed? Oh, I'm sorry, they found out it's malignant and you've got brain cancer. Oh well. You're a statistic. Bye. I've heard of all of these things. I have full access to medical dictionaries. Say you're just an average user of a charging system that you just bought. Now remember, Apple was going to talk about their wireless charging systems. Newsflash, nobody's talking about wireless charging systems anymore. Where you can charge up your cell phone from a distance? Because studies are showing these are really dangerous. You see, Tesla didn't give a crap about humankind. He was just a theoretician like Einstein. Einstein didn't give a crap about humankind. I mean, these people weren't that bright, believe it or not. All they thought about were weaponizing things, not saving humanity. I have a higher IQ than Einstein or Tesla, ironically, and here we talk every night, and I can't make it simpler for all of you to understand that we're heading toward a very dark time in human history by simply allowing this reckless abandonment toward electromagnetic frequencies and their dangers. We're just walking right into well, it's like lemmings off a cliff. In fact, that metaphor is no longer apt because lemmings didn't really fall off cliffs, turns out. They were pushed in those pictures that were generated. Anyway, but it's like lemmings off a cliff. Yeah, inductive charging is great, except the problem is they're sending frequencies through the air. Hey, we get busies in the room, busy 6400 happening. Well, I could send a lot of clear, concerning messages to the world. We've got toxic waste, radiation in our oceans. We just found out from Russia that our atmosphere extends beyond the planet Moon, the Moon itself. Dave, if you were a high-intensity beam weapon, what would you shoot first? Well, the thing is, these high-intensity beam weapons are being used to create burned out zones in California. Yep. Look at this fracking map that Misanthropy discovered. Look at that. This is a PG&E fracking map. Turns out it's the same exact location as the fires that hit Paradise and other areas in California, Malibu. Turns out there's a wealth of gas there. Now, ironically, PG&E is being blamed in this recent attack, but only for bad operations with their lines, not directed energy weapons or arson. There's been no malicious accusations against PG&E. It's just, mistakes in how they installed things. Consequently, they're not facing any criminal charges. But PG&E is underwritten by the Rothschilds. Again, that family we were talking about earlier. And they own a large amount of water rights, along with the Rockefellers, in Sonoma County, which obviously is, right here. So they own the water rights, and obviously they want access now to the land that's been burned out in the past few years. So instead of grabbing this land properly with eminent domain laws and paying people for their property, they just burned them out and they paid pennies on the dollar. It's a much more effective tactic. If they can, they will. And if you go with Murphy's law of economic distortion, if you will, the rich people have so much more power and money than we do that they can do whatever they want. They have a means and a capability of taking over the entire region and harvesting oil out of it. continuing to profit and laughing at all of us, especially at all the people they just burned to death, if indeed that they were involved in that. So if you look at this as a tactical decision by the Rothschilds to simply create whatever they wanted, I don't know. I'd have to draw some serious loose connections to even declare them involved. I can't prove that they're involved by this showing a fracking map, nor could I prove that they had any involvement at a high level of the military, because that's completely sealed and top secret information that only a president would know. But if I became your president and there was a connection, I'd certainly tell you. If these people are responsible for genocide, you can only imagine what this means. That means they should be in prison or worse. That means that if they don't want to stop at people, in California in sectors of houses with 20,000 people living there, you can imagine what they're capable of doing. They're easily capable of killing all of us with a push of a button, simply zapping the entire human race. It wouldn't be that hard. I mean, technically, they're laying the lines for it right now. While we sit here and act like it's no big deal, they're dropping such powerful conduit in that you fire that up with 100,000 volts and bye-bye America. Bye-bye happiness. Hello misery. I think I'm gonna die. Any one of us can be, zapped right in the middle of our daily life, God forbid. But, yeah. At least, we're of the belief that we're not going to be targeted because they just wanted the oil rights, but will they stop at that? Well, they didn't stop at arresting Chris Hansen. They got him on some pumped up charge and I have no idea. Hey, can I get a Rye Crisp guard? I'd like a Rye Crisp, please. Yeah, I think people are telling you to build your own house. The place you were going to buy the tiny house from went out of business. That was that great website you sent me to all those days. Oh, that's too bad. I guess they had greater hopes than they could deliver on. Hey, we got a 1.5 hour video about fluoride and the truth about water and the poison under the tap. That's good. We could use that tonight. Thank you.
And it's one of the most inexpensive ways to really cut down on dental decay.
Anything we can do to help prevent cavities on children, I think, is very important.
Absolutely, fluoride is safe. It's effective. Fluoridation.
So that's the argument selling fluoridation, and when we find out it's not effective in the water, and there's no proof that it is effective in the water, we'll find out what's going on behind fluoridation. Let me see if I have a category for fluoride. I don't. Oh, just environment. Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? Just, all the different things we got to sort. Dental. Oh, I've got a dental section. I put it in too. Okay. I don't know, Eric. All I know is that Chris Hansen's in jail. He had a couple bad checks he wrote. So, yeah, didn't work out for him. So centrist politics is about finding somewhere in the middle of the political spectrum we can come together. Now, people that gather here usually want their gun rights protected. They're not going to support gun control like the Democrats constantly pitch. And many of us have been concerned that, this effort to create gun control is really an effort to disarm the population. Because criminals can get guns. Why wouldn't American citizens be able to get guns? And aren't we the last defense against tyranny? Or worse, an alien invasion? I'm not kidding. I mean, you never know. So we support gun rights. Second of all, we support freedom of speech, whereas the Democrats want to frame everything as politically correct. I'm politically direct. And I proved it by doing the blackface video in the face of all this criticism. How else was I to impersonate a New World Order president who happened to be a black man? I wasn't going to do whiteface. I mean, it's ridiculous. So we should sing the end of the world as we know it. Yes, that's right. It is the end of the world as we knew it. And we feel fine, right? Hopefully we feel fine. Yeah, we'll play that tonight. Got a live version of it. Cool. Yeah, yowza. No, I could not have done whiteface. No. No. No one would ever have believed that I was actually impersonating Barack Obama if I had done it in whiteface. Well, let's be clear. Make no mistake about it. We have Barack Obama. You know, I passed for him, and you know, without the melanin injections. I mean, you look at him and you go, "Wow, that really is Barack Obama." No, that's Satan. Yeah, different guy, as featured in a popular TV show. Yeah, isn't that interesting? People were wondering, did they paint Barack Obama's face onto this guy's face? But no, they didn't. Yeah, I don't really want to be Satan either. But how could I have done that?
It's really a new world order. The Illuminati doesn't exist. It's just a new world order.
All right. Well, I'm just so glad that we don't have, we don't have Hillary running again, you know. Or is she? There's talk of Hillary running again. Oh, Hillary, oh, Hillary. I think she could, you know. She's looking very brave in this outfit. Yeah. I'm not sure. There is a clone in play, so if you think that she looks like a clone, it's because she does look like a clone. And yeah, so she might be running. If the clone is doing well, and the clone acts just like her, by the way. Hi, Sam. Sam's in the room. Yeah, the clone looks just like her, so I think she's very likely going to run again. So I think Bernie's got a little challenge there. Bernie. It'll be interesting, Bernie and Hillary. I wonder if Hillary will buy him off this time around. She's got enough money to do it, you know. And the Democrats will never confront the $5.4 billion she got. I know. Well, right after the encounter she had with John Podesta, she didn't look that great. She had some facial bruising. They say they both went at it. Yeah. So I'm not sure what happened, but all I can say is that, you know, she's bound to look better now. Sarah's a wonderful person. Hillary's not so wonderful. You know, that's the difference. And there's always the question, will that phlegm pop up again with the, you know, the symptomology of her throat? I thought it was because she was on Lasix. Yeah, let's do it, Sam. David for 2020, let's do it. But that green phlegm is bound to, you know, dog her. If it happens again on camera, you know, people saying, are you like a monster with green phlegm coming out of your mouth? Yes, she is. Hillary's talked about running again. Oh, yeah. Don't kid yourself. She and Bill just did a big tour of the country. Yeah. While you're in prison, I'm free to date, right? Right. That was funny. Oh, drinking hot tea and coffee gives you throat cancer? Sure enough. Who would have guessed? There you have it. Just avoid that hot Tai Chi. The Tai Chi is really good, Hillary. You'll like it. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'd say she has about a 60% chance of running. Oh, she looks good. The new Hillary, she's great. Yeah, Hillary 2.0. Yeah, let's see. Hillary cloned is a superior version of herself. They have the cloning technology they had when Dolly was around. Dolly the sheep. Yeah. Yep. the older Hillary is different than the newer Hillary? You're seeing two different people that look very similar to Hillary. They both passed for Hillary. Yeah. That nice? Yep. The younger clone is cheerier, brighter. She's able to make appearances. She has no problem speaking like her. Don't rule Hillary out. I'm telling you, she's been cloned. There's no doubt about my mind that she's been cloned. I've been doing well, Jim. Yeah, just kind of piecing this whole fake Mueller investigation together. I'm 80% sure he's going to pass on Donald Trump and not charge him with Russian collusion. I'm pretty sure he's going to go in the direction of supporting Trump and his Zionist friends. Oh, tasting vintage meal, ready to eat. MREs from 1942. This guy is amazing. Okay. You know, there is technology, MREs that are available from 1942, and this guy eats things from that old. He's cutting open MREs from 1942 and eating them. Wow. That'll be a challenge. Good for him. I just hope he gets to an internist fast enough to deal with the hiatal hernia that comes around. Can you imagine that, Hillary? I know. You could get serious Tai Chi problems with a lot of that stuff. But no, she's ready for action. This is the younger, brighter, and there's no lines in her neck. She's great. Yeah, she's ready to go. Hillary will be ready to go and win the Democratic ticket coming up, I predict. Kamala won't hold a candle to the new Hillary, the improved Hillary. Yeah. You'll even like her. Some of you Democrats will like her too. You'll think she's real. That's okay. Leave it whatever you want. There was an older, more mechanical version and didn't make it that day, remember? We saw her falling out of the cab. This is the last picture taken before the older retired Hillary was retired out. They actually had to haul her out of the memorial, the 9/11 memorial that day in 2016. She was seen being pulled out with Secret Service carrying her. You have been muted. Yeah. That's what happens. It's a 5-minute waylay to avoid making statements that are derogatory in the show. I have a hard time training you humans how to do this. You're not capable of dealing with the truth. You are overwhelmed with controversy. You are unable to take the truth serum. It's not easy taking this truth serum. No, I know a lot of you are going to vote for her. That's why I'm saying she will be running for president, I'm pretty sure. And there will be issues, no longer issues of phlegm or Parkinson's. They're going to just run the new one. This one has been retired out. The new one's ready to go, and she will be better than the last one. Nicer, friendlier Hillary. Yeah, so you'll have that to choose from. I don't know if this one's gay, this Hillary, or not. But if she were, chances are she'd be hitting the remote button on the Jennifer Aniston remote blow-up doll. And I don't think no, Hillary, stop pressing the buttons. Naughty girl. Naughty Hillary. I don't think the new and improved model is affected, like lesbian or anything. But, maybe Bernie might want to take her for a drive. They could date. Don't tell his wife, but Bernie and Hillary in the R8 going down the road. That'll be funny. Yeah, talk about a socialist. He's a capitalist. This guy's in the 1%. He pretends like he cares, but he'll never do a damn thing about Wall Street. He's just all talk, no action, Bernie. Reminds me of that New Yorker, Ratso Rizzo. Bernie Sanders and Ratso Rizzo. I'm walking here. You seen The Midnight Cowboy? No, that predates all of you. I'm from another generation, obviously. Uh-oh. I thought I got rid of that file. I think if Hillary became a transgender, her chances of winning would be superior. If she decided to become like a morph between her husband and herself, can you imagine? I never had sex with myself. I never had sex with Hillary. I never had sex with anybody. I didn't have sex with my little dog. I didn't have sex with anybody. And she'd be pardoning herself too. I forgive you, Bill, and your transgressions with all the bimbos. I love myself. But no, if we're going to see something coming out of the Democrats, God forbid it's not this. Ah! God, talk about a dunce. She put her foot in her mouth last week when she bragged about keeping all these Amazon jobs from Long Island. The people in Long Island were going, oy vey, what is she doing? She's killing our incredible financial base that a lot of us need for rent. We need to, profit from our landlady thing, Like this woman cost Long Island big time. And she bragged about it, claiming she'd rather spend $3 billion on hospitals and homeless. She never even had the $3 billion. The woman didn't even know that a tax incentive is not money in your hand. She didn't even know that. And she claims she has a degree in economics from Boston University. What a joke. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe she went to Boston University. I don't even know where she went. I don't believe her. Well, I don't know. The clone's ready to go. They pulled the clone out when Hillary was pulled out of commission. Here was her last scene, her actual last appearance, the real Hillary. The day that she was pulled out. And she was being carried into the car. She was completely stumbling. They didn't know what the hell to do. And then just 2 hours later, there was the Hillary Clinton emerged from Chelsea's apartment, which happened to be a medical clinic, by the way. Looking 100% better. Remember this?
How are you feeling, Secretary? Feeling great. Feeling great. What happened? It's a beautiful day in New York. How are you alive?
Clearly, she was in much better shape physically. This is the clone. This is the clone. This will be the clone that'll be running for president. She sounds just like her. She's got a perfect voice. She's a little bit different in size, but you want me to prove to you that she's a clone? I will. Are you ready for this? I've done this a few times in the show, but it's worth looking at. Oh, Hillary, oh, Hillary. Yeah, I think we're looking at two people having the same hand. Take a look at this. This was Hillary in 2016. Or this was Hillary coming out of that place I just showed you. Right there. She came right out of the clinic. This is her picture. This is her talking to the little girl I just showed you a picture of right here. Okay. That's her hand, and then this is her on the campaign trail. And that's her hand. Back in 2016, or right when the campaign in Iowa kicked into gear. You know, watch us put the two hands together from both of those locations. Zooming in on the hands. All right. Clearly one hand is smaller than the other, right? So, as we look, as the world turns, Now I'm just showing you there's a classic proof here of there's no logical reason why there would not be a logical reason why both hands have marks right here, a mark straight across. Now all hands don't have these marks in the exact same position. Your hand and palm print is almost equivalent to a fingerprint in terms of its design. It's unique to you. But you see these marks right here, and I'm just making hash marks for lack. This is a clear difference right here. Right, that's a clear difference. And the size of the hand is smaller too. And the woman we saw was thinner too than the woman that was at that event that day, showing a much heavier woman the day that she collapsed. So what we're looking at here is identical handprints, palm prints, but a different size hand. The only logical conclusion for this is Hillary has been cloned. So I'll rest with that, and we can almost count on her taking the nomination for the Democratic Party. Yeah. Nothing was photoshopped. This is all original, right off of the original shots from the campaign trail and from that day that she emerged from Chelsea's apartment, which was an ex-clinic at one time. Some people think it's a cloning clinic. All right, I'm glad we revealed some stuff that you would never find in the mainstream media. That's what we do here. And because we are concerned about the advent of artificial intelligence, the expansion of the 5G network, and how that probably is something AI is asking for, we're at a brink point where we can either politically say, yes, we want this excessive, unnecessary technology, or no, we don't. And that's us standing up and building a third party. That's the difference. And that's what will make or break the future. If we don't do that, they're going to be forcing all kinds of things on us, whether we like it or not. That's where we're at right now in the 2020 era, coming next year. It's amazing we're rapidly approaching that time, but we're going to keep this effort up despite all opposition. So if you think for a second that you're going to stop us by criticizing our show, I'm a steamroller, and there's nothing stopping me from doing whatever I can on the internet to build this consensus. Because we got a lot of people who are wondering what the hell is going on with this two-party system and why are we divided constantly. All right, we'll do it with a smile. All right. Okay, so we have a theme song we're going to sign off to tonight. We can only play a little bit on the recorded broadcast of our theme song, but it's Can't Stop, and we won't stop. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night with our Freedom Friday show, and we'll get on with a discussion of brutality in America and how the police are overtaking their bounds, pressing the limits on brutality, and this forced vaccination thing, which the Democrats keep pushing, and we'll try to expose that, along with the fakery that's been going on in our country with undocumented deaths, with very little proof people are dying in a lot of terrorist attacks that they're claiming are happening around the country. All right, take care, everybody. See you later.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.